One of the largest subsections of the Call of Duty Zombies community is the Spanish Zombies community. And today we're going to be checking out the top Spanish zombie YouTuber's channel of his rankings from every single map, worst to best, in the auto-dubbed version. So it is going to be sounding like a little bit of a robotic voice,
All right,
but
everyone. It's time to update
I
our
think
channel's
it'll
map
be
ranking.
interesting.
The last one I
Let's
did was
see
in
it.
2019 before the Totem came out, and now,
Right?
years later, we have 64 maps in total, which is outrageous.
Crazy.
And I want
Holy.
to clarify a few things. I'm not going to talk about the maps in their remastered version separately. What do I mean?
And granted, this is probably before a lot of BO7, so I would say this is just from World at War to BO6 and only Treyarch.
I'm not going to put the Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3 Kino in different positions. I take them as the
Right.
same map. Or, for
Okay.
example, the RIS with the Black Ops 3 Giant. For me, it's exactly
Okay.
the same map, but with better graphics. So I also take it as...
So Derice and Giant, no exceptions. Basically, they're the same map. Okay, fair.
one. But then there are cases like Dead Modes and Blood of the Dead. Those are totally different
Yeah.
experiences. Another
That's
thing,
true. So he's saying Mob of the Dead and Blood of the Dead are different. That's fair.
I'm going to consider all the games, not just Treyarch. And keep in mind that
Yeah.
I'm going to base my decision on whether
Okay, so he's going to do all of non-Treyarch as well. Okay, that's fair.
I like the map, if it's replayable,
Yeah.
if I enjoy doing the Hizrik, that it's not torture.
Okay,
Basically,
Easter egg,
everyone has their
yeah.
own list. Everyone has a different position. Good, of course. Yeah, and I'd love to see you in the comments.
This auto dub voice is so funny, bro. It's probably gonna make a lot of mistakes, but it is cool at least that I get to see a Spanish zombie YouTuber's opinion. Let's see what his worst map is.
So without
Probably
further ado, let's start with the
Vanguard,
worst map in the history of the mode.
right? Okay.
And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I think the Zombies mode was in danger of disappearing because of Durfan. In number 64
Yeah,
is the
true.
first map of Call of Duty Vanguard.
I mean, dude, this was so true. And I still think Zombies has never truly recovered from this. I think a lot of people can argue that Black Ops 4 never truly recovered from this, but this was the all-time low. I still think in a lot of ways Call of Duty Zombies will never recover from this point. This was such a massive killing blow to a community that was already down bad after BO4. I get why zombie YouTubers place this as the worst map. I still think it's the worst map ever made.
Guys, I honestly don't know what Trier was thinking when he released this mode.
For real,
First of all,
bro.
they tricked us with a trailer that seemed super epic, but it was
Yeah.
nothing like that. Actually, when you started a game of Dranfan, you were blocked by portals. What you had to do
I
was complete
know,
challenges
bro.
to be able to open the entire map.
Like, this is the laziest zombies map we've ever gotten. It's multiplayer maps chained together with teleporters. It's embarrassing. I'm glad the Spanish understand how bad this is, bro. Let's go.
But we realized here that this wasn't a traditional round map. It wasn't one where you complete an objective and advance to the next round and so on.
Yeah.
And what's the problem? There were like 3 or 4 challenges on day 1 alone.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do a round 20 UO, you were going to repeat the challenges over and over again. It was
Dude, and they didn't even have a freaking PAP camo. The ray gun wasn't in here at launch. This was an embarrassment, bro. Like, a custom zombies map developer probably could have made something better in a day than this whole map.
an endless cycle. There was
Yeah.
no special weapon, no Pack-a-Punch camouflage. It was basically a map that was in a beta stage, but I understand that if it's an independent game, right, if it's a game that costs you $70 or $100 for the special version like the one I bought, I admit it. It falls into the trap. Okay, I got excited for it.
Dude, yeah, no, literally. I mean, dude, I'm just grateful that I got this game and World War II Zombies for absolutely free. Thank God, because if I paid money for these games, oh, that would have been embarrassing, dog. That would have been tough.
A trailer that actually had nothing to do with the gameplay. Now, here's the
Yeah.
interesting part, right? As time went on, they updated some things about Duranfan. They added the Rigon. Wow.
Yeah.
A special weapon that was finally missing. They added Pack-a-Punch camouflage.
Wow, a whole ray gun, dude. And like, look at this. Like, this is real Call of Duty Zombies gameplay on your screen. The Vanguard microtransactions as well. That's a whole other story of how awful this game was. Vanguard is, to this day, not just the worst Call of Duty that I've played. It's one of the worst video games I've ever had the unpleasure or the displeasure to freaking play, bro.
And added a new challenge. That is,
Horrible.
a new portal that if you entered it would send you to Shinonuma, and there you could advance.
This game also made me never trust Activision again because, like I said, I remember listening to the Activision meeting before Vanguard came out, and I remember Activision lying to every single person in the business meeting saying, oh, yeah, bro, we're fully confident on Vanguard. We think it's going to do numbers. And apparently, this game actually sold better than BO4, which is freaking disgusting. So I guess they weren't totally wrong, but at the cost of destroying the zombies community, man.
In rounds in the traditional way.
Jeez.
But it's not the same, Al. It's like it's very forced, you know?
Yeah.
If you want to advance
and
in
this portal animation, bro. I get PTSD looking at this,
rounds,
dog.
Gale, you have to open the map, then open a portal, and then start advancing. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But this formula
It's
didn't work. The
trash.
challenges were like this. Escort ahead for a minute. Hey, stand on
Yeah.
symbols until you absorb them as if it were dominance, or collect bottle caps and put them.
Like, it wasn't zombies. It was literally like a party game mode with zombies in it. It's so bizarre.
On a pedestal as if it were a confirmed kill.
Yeah. And they were trying to fully rewire all of Call of Duty Zombies from this point. Like, if Duran Fong was somehow received with positive feedback, they would have made the whole game like this. That would have been tragic. Like, the only good thing from what I hear from people that came out of this game was Shino Numa Reborn. But also at the time, Activision was facing legal lawsuits with like people committing suicide at the company itself. And like, dude, this is why I just decided to boycott this whole game in general, bro. Absolutely disastrous.
They were things taken from multiplayer that they
Terrible.
put in Zombies to improvise, and that's why I consider it the worst map in history. And for them to
Yeah.
overcome it, date, which I hope doesn't
This
happen.
is one of the, not even the worst maps, worst games. It was one of the worst points in Activision, period, bro.
Because it would be unfortunate.
Horrible
8.
time.
It's going to be very complicated. Now, UFA 6 for position number 63. We don't have to go very far, UFA, okay? Because here comes Terra Maledicta, the sequel, the next map after Drenfan. Okay.
I mean, listen, I never played anything after Duran Fong. Vanguard was such a miserable disgrace. I have never even heard of a game getting away with putting the same zombies map in the game as Terra Maledicta was copied again with the Archon, but in a different filter. That is the laziest thing I have ever seen in my life. It just makes me wonder why Call of Duty does not hire actual custom mappers to create content.
Hey, do you think Treyarch learned his lesson? So, gave us a
I
round
really
map?
hope.
No, he gave us another map where we have to open portals little by little, completing the same challenges we had in Durfan. Oh no, but now we've added a new challenge. Yes, now you have to defend a kind of pedestal that has zombie skulls, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, very good. What content?
What content? Dude, it's so trash.
No, well, and what was the special weapon on this map? A shield.
A
The Decimator shield that
dude.
had a special attack every 90 seconds it charged. They changed it.
So bad, bro. The Garad Crovey shield was more of a wonder weapon than this, bro.
Later. This was
So
updated when the
bad.
final map came out to 30 seconds, which is appreciated. Now you're going to say, hey gaming, but here you could also enter a portal to do the round leveling thing like you could on the Dranfan map. Yes, but guess what you have to do? You have to complete the Hisrek to be able to do this. And how long do you need to finish
so
it?
the Easter egg is mandatory. Also, like there were cool aspects of Vanguard with like the rune buff kind of things that you could get, but ultimately this game just was dead on arrival, bro. Oh my god.
Like 20 minutes and 10 minutes are listening to the characters talking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nightmare of a Terra Maledicta map. Terribly
Yeah.
poorly made, full of too much
also just so ugly. Like look at this
narrative that
map.
they tell you. It's with a lot of audio, without any images. None of these gods appear. They're just talking on the
Like
walkie.
it just looks like you're playing a Warzone POI here.
Talkie. I don't know where, to be
So
honest,
bad.
but this one is also very, very unfortunate. But, obviously, AE, in terms of design, it looks a little better, and at least this map does have a main mission, which is super basic.
Yeah.
Alright, but Defan didn't have that. It had nothing. It was just advancing rounds.
Duran Fong. Did they not even add an Easter egg to that map? That's embarrassing.
That's all. Well, let's continue with Call of Duty Banger. Yes, sir. Because in position number 62 is Shinonuma Reborn.
Yeah. I am glad that there are at least some people that think the entirety of Vanguard is dog, because it is, bro. I was beyond, listen, Paradox Junction and Shinonuma Reborn have clearly made it obvious to me that the zombies community will eat up literally anything that is a round-based map, even if it's Shinonuma. Like, it is insane how low some people's standards are that they will actually love map experiences like Shinonuma being remade for the 5th time and Nuketown being remade for the 5th time, bro. It's freaking mind-boggling, bro. I can't understand it. Like, this really got to show the difference to me of the current zombies community we have comparatively to what was prior 10 years ago.
For many, this map
Jeez.
fooled the community that was playing Call of Duty Vanguard into saying that it was a good map. But it's not because we were used to having already
People still think it's a good map, man.
unfortunate content with the two previous maps. That when they gave us a map that was based on traditional rounds and a remastered or remake of a classic like Shinonuma, it excited the community a bit.
Well, and also this map was in Duran Fong, right? It was part of that map as well. So they just had to slightly expand it and people loved it. Like, again, it blows my mind what Activision is able to get away with. Insane.
But for me, this map is a
Insane.
lie.
It
Shinonuma
is a
at
lie.
night, with Derek footsteps. 1 or 2 steps can be interesting. I'll give you that.
Sure.
Yes, but I don't like the flow of the map. I don't like the final boss, which is Savala. who was a normal
Yeah.
enemy, but they changed his color, and that's why he's a boss. And, well,
Yeah.
the machine gun zombies on this map are a total nightmare. Eva 2.
See, and that's a big issue that kind of stemmed with BO4 is like, let's add a boss zombie, but make him the bigger version of the original zombie on the map, like Brutus in Blood of the Dead, right? Such a bad trend, bro.
I'm not a fan of Shinonuma Reborn. It doesn't make me want to play it again. C, but 2,
Yeah.
I don't enjoy making choices. OA.
Also, like, how are people saying this is better than Chronicles BO3 Shinonuma? Look at what is on your screen right now. It is dark gray garbage.
A couple of steps that are a
Like,
nightmare where you don't
what?
really understand what to do, and you're most likely going to fail here. That's why I put it at the bottom.
Yeah.
In the end, I judge how
Bro, shout out L Gaming Channel, bro.
replayable a map can be
Shout out
for it to
this
be truly
guy.
good. It makes you want to play
Thank
Shinonuma
God.
Reborn. Seriously. Can you tell me which is the best version? I disagree. I'll even stick with the COD Mobile one so you can get an idea. By the way,
Bro, legit, the COD Mobile one is better than this.
I didn't include COD Mobile in this ranking, okay? Because
That's
that
fair.
mode has been a disaster.
That's
and
fair.
now, guys, Apes. To close the Call of Duty Vanguard chapter, Apes. Obviously,
Yeah.
the 61st position goes to the Archon. What I'm going to
Let's
tell you
go.
next may surprise you, okay? The second map of Vanguard was Terra Maledicta, and the last one was Terra Maledicta with another filter, but now they made the map by rounds, just like you hear in the game itself.
Yeah.
They
They
gave
just made it green, dude. It's like how they even thought they could get away with this is mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing.
us a remaster of the same map that we had before, a rehash.
Yeah.
I think this has been the fastest remaster in history. It's a shame.
Literally the fastest remaster in the same game, bro.
Honestly, what should be mentioned is that this map is a bit larger and different from Terra Maledicta. They just took the base map, changed the color, but the steps were modified. The only thing that saves this map is the final battle, Anand. The boss looks spectacular, Anand, but if you analyze it carefully, the boss stays there. It's not like he moves around the arena, it's not like you can hurt him all the time.
Yeah, he's very undynamic, and he just sort of falls into a pit once you kill him. So this zombies mode should not have ever released. This is still, and I'm glad everyone, whatever language you speak, can all agree that Vanguard is by far the worst zombies experience ever created.
Acetation?
Oh
at
my
then,
gosh.
it's really just like putting a puppet that you can hurt every now and then, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know, it seems to me that during this stage we suffered a lot as a community, and it's
We
reflected in
really
the content
did.
they gave us.
Dude, so many people quit COD Zombies permanently after this game came out because they realized, like, it's over. Like, there was a glimmer of hope with Cold War, but then when we got Vanguard, it was like, nah, it's over.
If this is what they were going to release as a zombie mode, cool, it would have been better if they hadn't done it and just released multiplayer Dua,
Yeah.
because it wasn't up to par.
I cannot even believe Vanguard is 5 years old now. Oh my gosh. It's been 5 years since this disaster, and I still don't think we've fully recovered.
At first, it was like an
Crazy.
attempt at an outbreak mode, but more primitive, and in the
Yeah.
end they kind of changed it and said, okay, let's go back to traditional round maps. There came a
That's
point
true.
where the promotion of this game was so unfortunate that I remember Triar saying on Twitch, and yes, the map is round-based. It's like, really? Really? A mode that has always
Yeah,
been
bro. The fact that Treyarch had to announce that it's a round-based map, that's how you know the community was gone, bro.
round-based. You have to clarify that the map is going to be round-based. Anyway, at number 60, Hari, here comes the first surprise, because I didn't rank this map at the time, and it's the transit bus station. This is a
Dude,
sur-
like to think Bus Depot outranks a whole video game of zombies. That's how bad Vanguard is. So true, L Gaming Channel, bro.
survival map,
So
but in the most
true.
basic style you can possibly imagine, okay?
Yeah.
You're in the early part of Transit Tool, you don't have any perks, you only have the mystery box.
I agree, though, that this is, like, if we just forget Vanguard exists, this is probably the worst experience Treyarch has ever put out. It's worse than Nocturne Toten. It's so hardcore. Like, the max round most people probably got on this map was, like, not even double digits. Like, probably round 9.
Available, and that's it. You don't even get quick revive.
Yeah.
Of course, there will be people who are fond of the map if they played a high round without perks, which is quite an
Right.
achievement. It's not fun to me, it's not replayable as filler.
I
Perfect,
agree.
perfect. But if maps have to be ranked, I have to be fair, and that's why I'm leaving it in this spot number
No,
60.
that's fair.
Without further ado, a
That's
completely
fair.
flat map, and that's it. Now here comes
Yeah,
the first bombshell,
fair.
people. For me, the worst map, let's say complete in the history of Treyarch. A serious map is Die Rise. I'm sorry.
Wow, my Die Rise haters. Listen, bro. This map almost made me quit COD Zombies. I get it, bro. The map is dog. I'm just so glad that there's a remaster on BO3 that people can play. That's like literally what people would have wanted at the time. But I agree. The original is still one of the worst experiences Treyarch ever made. Even though, after talking to Zelensky, his original ideas for this map were freaking unreal, bro. Oh my gosh. Like, he was too ahead of his time, bro. He really was.
The elevator map, the verticality map, seems to me to have a lamentable design, and this shows that sometimes innovating is not going to work out because I understand
It's
what the
true.
premise was in
That is true. Innovating sometimes doesn't work out. Look at Call of Duty Vanguard. dog.
Treyarch.
Yeah.
Let's create something different. Let's do a different style in which a zombie map is played. Relying on elevators to move? Going up and down like that, but it wasn't comfortable. They needed to implement a more player-friendly system, such as a teleporter, instead of solely relying.
This could have been the parkour map. There could have been ways that you could have like parkoured up the elevator shafts or something and like made it so you didn't have to just wait on an elevator. There could have been so much. This map could have been way better, honestly.
On waiting around. Literally, this map will make you spend more time waiting for the elevator to come down than what you're going to be playing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the way they did it is terrible. Plus, they force you to have 4 players to do the Easter egg. Thanks to that, nowadays we have mods on PC so you can do the Hisik solo. And here comes one of the worst ideas they came up with. Along with the map, they created a perk called Who's Who, which is one of the...
true. I mean, Who's Who is the worst perk of all time. I mean, maybe Tombstone is, but can't beat that jingle, though.
The worst, if not the worst in history, where when you fall, a clone of you appears that is supposed to help you revive yourself. Or, if you hold on for 30 seconds, you can end up as that copy. Of course, with just the starting pistol and no perks. If I fell with perks and weapons, how am I supposed to hold on without anything?
Exactly.
How am I supposed to be able to revive myself with just...
In the remaster, that's why you get a wonder weapon, bro, if you're past a certain round,
just a pistol. It doesn't make sense. Now, this was later corrected in Cold W, where they added the Tomb perk and merged it with a Hoo-Hoo, where you appear with the weapon you had, an assault rifle or whatever.
I will say, Cold War's Tombstone is still dog, but yeah, it is better than Die Rise's.
It didn't make much sense. Let's just say that Rise was doomed to fail. Now, why do I put it as the worst and not mention Transit? For example, Die Rise never makes me want to play it. If I do, it's because in reality, and I say it like this, I want to torture myself. I mean, there's no other way.
I mean, most people only play Die Rise for the Easter egg, the super egg. It is, in and of itself, a full-on filler map in terms of lore, in terms of the Victus storyline, in terms of just the whole gameplay design. It's a filler experience. It really is.
There's no other explanation. I think the worst thing about Die, for example, is when you're making choices, when you want to look for the chess pieces, the Mayons, you have to go down the map, up, down, up.
Yeah.
It's going to take you like 20 minutes to move around this map just to...
This is very much a coordinated map. Like, it's only fun if you're playing with people that know what they're doing.
See some chess pieces.
Yeah.
It's not fluid. I hope you don't mind, Edisi, but in 58th place, I'm going to put Nether Totem, Edis, the map where it all began.
That's crazy, dude. Listen, it is insane how over time you have seen so many people go from loving Nocturne Totem to absolutely dogging on it. And I think it's just because of the way that the pacing of zombies has changed. Like, Noct was all about being scary, but now that that scary factor isn't really there, it's just sort of ending up becoming like a very slow-paced map, and I think that's why people don't like coming back to it, man.
Not to be nostalgic, but it must be said that Nache is a map that deserves a higher position. Let's see, Eki, it's a map that doesn't have much. Eki, 3 or 4 doors, no perks. Let's take the original version of Black Ops 1 or World at War, because in Black Ops 3, we can have the perk holocap to punch the weapon. But how long can you really have fun playing Nasheron Tottenham?
See, well, and that's the thing, right? BO1, you get the Mule Cake Machine. BO3, you get Perkaholic, and you can do high rounds and stuff, but it is truly a literal bunker from the World at War campaign.
Every now and then, every few months, trying it out can be an interesting experience to test yourself, but it has nothing to do with it. Let's say, if the zombie mode had stayed this way with such small maps, such simple maps, it probably wouldn't be here today. I'm not saying it's bad, Jared, but it's simply too basic.
No, it is true. If zombies literally just kept being Nocturne Totem, it would have died long ago. That is so very true. But I mean, it is a great starting point. We went from a bunker to everything that we saw in BO2, 3, 4, and onwards. It's insane, bro.
And that's why I give it the 58th place. Let's go now with the 57th place. Because here it goes, hand in hand with Baruch. The second zombies map already introduced the perks. Was.
Again, a lot of people don't like Varuk. There's a lot of people that do like this map, like few and far between, but mostly when people go back to play World of War Zombies, it's always Darius, man.
But the thing is that the difficulty increased because here, the famous Baruch runners appeared, Bras, the zombies that ran in an impressive way. There is no version of Baruch that I really find very good. Let's say that you can have a little more fun, obviously, in Black Ops 3.
It's true. BO3 has issues with the WAF. BO1 has the Winter's Howl. That's not fun. World at War is just horrifying. I get it, bro. I get why people dislike it.
Because you have Wonderwolf, the Gum, being able to have a lot of advantages. But let's say, in the original version or in Black Ops 1, which has Winters, it doesn't seem to me to be a great map to play currently. That's why
I would say BO1's version is definitely the worst.
I put it at the bottom. There's not much to do here. Wait, it's really small. Okay, now people, a key in position number 56. I'm going to elaborate a little more because here is Transit. What did you think I was going to forgive Transit years later? That I was going
Yeah.
to say that now it was a good map?
Dude, the fact that people rewrote history on this map is insane. That goes to show you how bad modern zombies has inevitably become when people are begging for this map to come. Like with BO7 coming out, before we knew about all of Ashes of the Dam, people were begging for them to remaster Transit. That is insane to me, bro.
Of course not.
Insane.
It still has a lot of problems, but it's true that it doesn't seem like the worst in history to me anymore.
Yeah.
To begin with, and I've said this many times
It
over.
is definitely not the worst, though. That is insane, though, as well. That, like, in my opinion, there's a plethora of maps worse than this. I'm shocked Beast from Beyond isn't here, to be honest, but yeah, there's a plethora of maps that are now worse than Transit, when at one point in time, this was the worst map.
The years. The problem with Transit is that in the year it came out, the power of the console simply didn't allow it to take advantage of all the mechanics they wanted to include.
Yeah.
So, we were left with a map that was limited by too many things to keep the console from crashing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like the Dennis Sense always coming on while you're running through the fog to slow you down, or the lava so you have to slow down with the speed.
Yeah, the map's flow was just not well designed. And I think it's just because Zelensky at this point was so scatterbrained on all these different ideas that he wanted to do that it just didn't execute that well.
Special weapon was the jet gun that would explode if you held it down for like 10 seconds, woo, which really doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
Who would think of putting a new special weapon in the debut of a new zombie game like this? It really doesn't make sense. It must be said that Transit was saved by the survival maps, because otherwise...
Well, they were trying to do like Keynote or Toten, right? They were trying to be like, yo, let's bring the Thunder Gun back. And then they remade it in just the worst way possible.
It would be completely forgotten. I understand that many people have great memories with Transit. I get it,
Yeah.
and that's why some people love it, because I wasn't having a great time with my friends on the bus. Hey, great for you. But for a solo player, it's a nightmare
I agree.
experience. Everything
Co-op, fun, solo, no.
is a protocol in Transit. You can't carry more than one piece at a time for some reason. Your character doesn't have room in both pockets for two pieces. You have to do it one by one for anything you want to build. Oh, and you want to upgrade your weapon. Well, get ready, because you have to grab the turbine from the start. Key, put it in a door, key, and hope that a zombie doesn't break it, or that the turbine doesn't have very little health left and breaks on its own. If that happens, too bad. You'll have to go back to the start.
From what I'm hearing for the BO3 remaster, you'll be able to carry probably two buildables, one being the turbine, and then a second buildable on top of that being either the jet gun or the turret trap or the electric trap. So that's pretty cool.
Pick up a turbine again, put it in,
Fixes
and enter
all
Pack-a-Punch,
this
and so on
garbage.
every time you want to Pack-a-Punch. How is it possible that a mechanic that was already becoming as basic as upgrading your weapon was made so tedious in Transit? This map was a test of patience, and I think this is where Treyarch went wrong. Let's see how the new remake of Transit and Black Ops...
It is very true. Like, this is where Zelensky kind of dropped the ball, and Vonderhaar had to really pick up his socks for Buried. And if you know all about the behind the scenes of that, you know how much of a disaster that was.
7 is. Let's hope it makes it a lot more fun, and we'll see how faithful it is, because they haven't even shown if the town area exists. Let's not even talk about Transit. Yeah, I don't understand what they were thinking. Here we went from complex decks that were in Black Ops 1 to throwing a grenade at a light pole. Seriously, literally.
No, we went from blowing up the moon to throwing grenades at freaking telephone poles, bro. That's
The
funny.
Eric in one of the two parts is weaponize the jet gun, blow it up under the tower,
So
low,
funny.
throw an EMP grenade. Seriously, that's it.
Yeah, the
Seriously.
Easter egg is so stupid.
Picking up pieces and throwing a grenade of that can't be. Basically,
Yeah.
It looks like they lowered the level excessively. They didn't even compensate for all the annoying mechanics of the map with a good test, and that's why it has to be one of the worst maps in history.
Yeah, especially just because coming from Moon to this was just not it.
And it stays in 56th place.
That's
Well,
fair.
guys, I admit it. Honestly, in 55th place, Adi, I let myself get carried away by my hatred for this map, and it's Tactor Totem, the last black...
Wow, dude. Listen, I get it. Even though I like this map because it's called the Dead, it's just, you think of this as the finale of BO4, the finale of the original Ether storyline, and you're just like, what on earth were they thinking? Oh yeah, they weren't thinking because Blundell was already out the door, and they were just getting out whatever they could at this point, right?
Ops 4 map that I couldn't rank at the time because I had just made the previous ranking before it came out.
That's fair.
It seems like a shameful farewell for the Primus. Our
Yeah.
legendary characters weren't even playable on this map.
Exactly.
They were having some beers. No one could see where, in a forest, while we played with the Victus who returned from the buried map.
Yeah.
What's up with Tactor Totem?
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think the zombie ending should have been in this ugly remake of Call of the Dead that has no new enemies, no final battle, and repeated deck steps, because you can tell they had nothing else in mind, that they were already
It's
fed
true.
up.
No, it's absolutely true. Like this map only released as a culmination of decisions that happened during BO4's life cycle. Like this should not have been the final map. We should have had the Great War here. This should be one of the best zombie maps of all time. And it probably would have still been called Togger Tone, you know? or the Great
There are
War.
rumors, I haven't been able to confirm this, that this map was made by Activision Shanghai. In other
Yeah,
words, Trier
probably.
just washed his hands of it and started working on Cold War. Obviously, the
Yeah,
story was supervised by Triler, I'm absolutely sure, but the map itself feels so boring, so
yeah.
flat. There are people who will tell you, no, but it looks pretty. Do you really think it looks pretty? I
No, no, it doesn't. This map is a bunch of cope, bro.
don't even like that.
Yeah,
I'll stick with the Call of Dead from Black Ops 1, which looks all gray. I think the biggest bait for Tager
true.
Totem was making us believe that it was going to be an epic ending with a battle, I don't know, of biblical proportions, let's
True.
say. And
Literally biblical proportions. They called the last friggin' DLC 4 Revelations, bro.
all we did was follow a vessel around the map that was surrounded by the storm from Blackout mode.
Yeah, dude, literally it ushered in the Warzone mode. Like that's really what the final step of this egg did. It's kind of sad.
That's why I'm happy that the primitives are returning in Black Ops 7, because I feel like the ending they got on this map wasn't worthy of the whole story that was built for.
See, the thing is, even though Premise is back on BO7, the ending they're gonna get on BO7 is probably gonna be just as bad.
Right. Let's say from
That's my
Black Ops
guess.
2. So we'll see what the future holds. The only thing I'm sure of is that my hatred for Tager Tottenham will never change. In
Yeah.
fact, the only thing I don't like about Black Ops 4 today is this map. Let's move on to square
That's
number 54.
crazy, especially with Alpha Omega existing there. Alpha Omegas and Paradox for me. I mean, granted, this is pre BO7, so for me, those two maps are definitely in the bottom 10 for
Of
sure.
course, Infection or Burger Town from Exo Zombies had to be here.
Yeah.
Why is this map so infamous?
I cannot believe this map made it above Transit. Personally, to me, this map, Beast from Beyond, these maps are never being replayed.
Maybe because of its difficulty?
Ever.
Ooh, but hey, that's a problem with all the maps in this game. I actually think the problem is the overuse of the disdirect piece locations.
Yeah.
I don't know what went through the
Dude,
developer.
I feel like there's a lot of zombie players that don't even know what this is now. Like, it's been out, this map's been out for how long? Like 12 years? And
heads, but let's say
people
that
don't
putting
even know what
39
this
meat
is
locations,
anymore.
of which you only get
Yeah.
4 in each game, I think was a bit excessive.
Just
And
such a
putting
ugly
21
game,
valve
too.
locations, of which you only get 4 in each game too. What's the point of having so many locations that you have to check the entire map in each game?
I think I've never done this Easter egg by myself. Like, it was just that
You
bad.
say, well, you just leave a zombie there and that's it. Yeah, but there's a small problem, little brother, Rakola, because in this mode they decided to put missions as if it were a campaign, and every now and then you have to rescue survivors. And guess what happens if you don't rescue them? Nah, the area gets infected, and you can't check it out calmly. And you'll say,
Yeah.
well, but in the early rounds it might be easy, right? Yeah, but I
Thank God they never added this back in a map where it just restricts your playable zones.
challenge you to try to save a
So
survivor in round 25 while you have 500,000 electric zombies, a giant Goliath with a
Yeah.
shield that hits you with a hammer, dogs, in short, it's chaos. For me, the perfect description of Exo Zombies is chaos. There comes
Yeah.
a point where you see so many things on the screen that you just say, enough, please. I have to say
True.
that, well, it's interesting. The steps are complicated. They test you. But there comes a point where you just get fed up. I think I play this map like once a year or once every 6 months maximum.
I would never play, dude. Like, I haven't played this map. I haven't played Exo Zombies, I think, since like 2020 when I played with like Noah, JC, and Mr. Dalek JD that one time. I think that was it.
For the sake of my mental health. Well, guys, let's go now to position 53. Here comes Gruston Eagle, which is a survival map from Call of Duty World War II.
Jeez, Groston House. Honestly, even though this is a fun survival map, it's on World War II, which is why it's hard to come back to personally for me.
Mind you, it's
So
not a
I
bad
can
map,
get
but it's very
this.
basic. Yes, we have the
Yeah.
Wonderfish to get random perks.
It's just so small. This has got to be like one of the smallest zombie maps ever.
We have
It's
a menu to
literally
unlock the
a
mystery box
house.
and give you improved weapons, but it's a very small and quite complicated experience, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if many people gave Grustan a chance. In fact, there's a challenge to reach round
No.
50 and you'll get a special flamethrower zombie that you'll have to kill, and it gives you an achievement or in-game, I don't think so, a trophy as such. Now, here comes another
Yeah.
surprise, because in position number 52 is Transit Farm. You can believe that I find it
Wow, dude, the fact that farm is here, bro, is so much higher than all these other ones. Granted, man, for me, before we even talk about like Die Rise and Tog and all that other stuff, like all the transit sub maps are coming in here, excluding Town. Beast from Beyond, World War II maps, bro. Like a lot of those maps are making it before any of the official Treyarchs.
more fun to advance in rounds on this survival map than on the Transit map itself. What does the farm have? The 4 classic perks, Double T that revives, Speed Cola, Guias, Jubernuk, and the mystery box. Nothing else, that's
Yeah.
all. It doesn't even have the
It's Bus Depot with perks.
power up. Well, if you
Yeah.
use mods on PC, the pack punch can appear, but at least the legal way to play it is like this. Well, when it came out, it was quite fun, and every now and then I like to try to do a round 40 here on this little farm. Which in fact, by the way, this map is going to return in Black Ops 7 as a survival map, but now with some small changes.
Dude,
The design
honestly, when I compare this to the BO7 version, I like the BO7 version more, obviously, just because you can double jump. But regardless, though, I just don't understand why farm. Out of everything on Transit to remake, they just took farm. It's very bizarre.
design will not be exactly the same. Farm is quite interesting to me. You can have a good time from time to time, but like Gruston it does not have much more to offer.
No.
Well,
And
friends,
and unfortunately, like even with BO7, it's really the same thing,
position 51 is for a
right?
totally different zombie experience, and it is the torture path.
Yes, bro. Like this is what I mean, bro. Stuff like this, garbage like this is going in here. Half of World War II zombies is in last place for me, bro. I feel like there's a lot of World War II zombies lovers, but for me personally, this game was not it,
For
bro.
those who do not know,
Not
this
it.
consists of 3 small maps in which you can do a maximum of 10 rounds in each one. If you decide to only play casual and advanced rounds, you will not have as much fun. Why? You have to do 3 challenges in each one of them that change each game. For example, you may have to escort a zombie that has low health. If you kill it and you are on round 6, for example, no problem, you have to start the game over. Like sometimes you're not even prepared. You don't have enough yet to do a challenge of this caliber, and it ruins the experience for you. If you want to do the Hisareg Aholejas, because yes, the Path of Torture also has Unareg, in addition to those challenges.
Yeah, the Easter egg, and then you get like some sword or whatever. I don't know, dude. And then people play the survival maps of these and go for high rounds, bro. That's not it for
Things
me,
are going to
bro.
be even worse. The rounds are
Nope.
numbered, just imagine,
I remember when this game came out, this was like peak Fortnite as well. This was like 2017, 2018, peak Fortnite. And I just remember at this point, bro, it was over. Call of Duty had truly lost its place in the cultural identity that it built up in.
You have to complete a step in round 5. And if you accidentally pass by because you killed the zombies, or grabbed a bomb, good, goodbye, you've already lost, good, you'll have to start over.
Yeah.
So it's literally torture.
Lot of starting over, lot of time stuff. Like this map brought in a bunch of stuff I hated with COD Zombies, bro.
Honestly, it's not the most user-friendly experience.
No, it's
yes,
not.
we also have these separate survival maps, and these,
I feel like very few people even know what this is.
believe it or not, are fun, and also have their little things, little Easter eggs, that I'll talk about later in this ranking. And in these maps, you can go up to the round you want without any kind
Dude, just look at the gameplay. What am I watching, dog?
of challenges imposed by the map. Well, guys, 50th place goes to Carrier Dexo Zombies Asha, a map that I was finally able to
Fair.
complete solo until recently.
Yeah, this solo egg is hard, bro. Holy, is it difficult. The egg is very fun, very difficult, but the map itself is balls. It's so bad. Like, I probably prefer Outbreak, the original Exo Zombies map, as the best Exo map, but the rest are still dog.
I'm not exaggerating when I say that it's one of the hardest in the history of zombies.
It is
And if not
very
the first,
difficult.
top 3, top Q, I may be a
Yeah.
crybaby, it's true, I admit it, but Carrier seems to me to have the problem of difficulty again. What's the problem with this map? Well, here you don't have to rescue survivors, right?
You have people shooting at you. You have to defuse bombs on the ship for some reason. Like, what?
Here we have to fight soldiers who are planting a bomb on you. I mean,
Yeah.
Z, while you're worried about killing zombies that teleport, electric, dogs, zombies that infect you, you have to worry
Too
about soldiers.
many
And if you
enemies.
decide not to deactivate the bombs,
Yeah.
G, not to play search and destroy with them,
So many random steps. Like, this was cool where you, like, get the shark tooth, and then also, like, the step where you're on the island is pretty fun, even though, like, you have to find a stupid dig spot on the island. Cool ideas, bad execution.
get ready because they're going to punish you by summoning a Goliath, a giant
Yeah.
zombie, and also infecting the area. I don't know,
Terrible
man.
boss
The punishment they
enemies,
give you in
dude.
Exo Zombies is too much.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Once you complete the story, you feel like a pro, but I don't see myself repeating solo runs a bunch of times. I feel like once I've done it for myself, that's all I need. Also, the flow of the map is difficult because it's a very tight map in some areas. You
Yeah,
don't have much space to run,
terrible
and then the
flow.
only wide area you have doesn't give you a chance because the electric zombies turn off your exosuit, so you can't do the exo. I don't know, it's too much. I mean, just thinking about the map gives me the creeps. It gives me goosebumps. And as I said, I completed the
Yeah, and the egg takes forever to do,
game. I can
bro.
speak properly. It's not like I played it
Yeah.
once. I got to round 10 and that's it. No. I already did the entire mission, and still, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna leave it in 50th place. Speaking of nightmare maps, let's go to the Darkest Shore now. The Darkest Shore is in Asin
oh
at
my
number 49.
gosh, bro. That's what I mean, bro. World War II zombies as a whole is just deserving to be, in my opinion, slightly above Vanguard, but before every other main Treyarch zombies map title. Like even before Treyarch, Transit and Die Rise. Like these maps are terrible.
Interestingly,
I never go back to World War II ever. I don't have any remote desire to go back to this game even once.
in case you didn't know, Datsun, the developers, Sledhammer, were the ones who made Exo Zombies in World War II. That is, Datsun, the same creators, Natsun, right? In quote marks. And here you can see that this map is insanely difficult. Again, apart from the fact that there isn't even a fun strategy to advance in rounds, there isn't an area that stands out here that we call dark. It's the grayest map we've ever had. Ross, a style quite similar.
Yeah, just so gray, so dull, so lifeless, bro. Like, and I don't even care about like the map's wonder weapons or whatever. Like, when the map gameplay literally just looks like this screenshot, Why would I ever want to go back and play this, bro?
To the maps in Black Ops 1, it must be said. And the appearance of this new special zombie E, which is like a spider that appears out of nowhere, the fog that comes back from transit here, and then the final battle, they didn't do it too well, D.
No.
It's divided into...
And you have to, like, escort this guy to all the perk machines. Like, what were they thinking, man? There's some cool animations on this map and some cool secret areas, but, like, that's pretty much about
4 stages where let's say E, the cart you're in, stops at each stage, and you have to kill a bunch of zombies where you can't see anything because of the fog. If you manage to beat it, consider yourself a champion. I admit it, I haven't completed it solo, but I've reached the final battle solo 4 times, and yes, I lost all 4 times.
Yeah, the boss fight on solo is insanely difficult from what I've heard. I probably will never, ever attempt this solo.
It's really complicated, really. Of course, I have to complete it solo someday. I can't keep that thorn in my side. But anyway, in Darker Shore, due to the difficulty, there is no good special weapon. It's the... what's it called? The saw Eefpool, which is really boring to use.
Yeah, the saw blades. Yeah, apparently it's very strong, but again, it just shoots out saws.
Honestly, there is no cool place to advance in rounds. It doesn't seem replayable to me. Place. That's why I'm leaving it in 49th place. Let's see, friends. The next place may be a bombshell for some a surprise. I am awarding the 48th spot to Base Z. Yes, I'm very sorry.
Wow. Base Z. No, this map is trash. Firebase Z, dude. I literally even just tweeted it out. Apparently, Cold War just recently got an update, and I tweeted it out. I was like, hopefully they remove Firebase Z because this map is terrible.
Let's see, E-Base ZZZ from Cold War. Ace. The DLC 1 of this game, Ace, this map wasn't up to par for what we had to wait for its release. In fact, even the final boss is weak. The Horde is lying down. It doesn't even get...
One of the worst bosses of all time in COD Zombies, the Orda. Just such a snooze. One of the worst mechanics with, like, the round defenses. The wonder weapon's not fun to use after they patch it. Like, this map just sucks.
Get up to fight us. What makes Bases such a tedious map? First of all, the design is boring. The map is recycled from the campaign. I think they only changed 2 or 3 things. It doesn't motivate you. It doesn't feel like a zombie map. This is where Coldus showed that all of their maps were going to be installations of little soldiers and no longer maps with personality. We have the King K, which is the special weapon. That one is quite interesting. Very creative. Here comes the appearance of the Mimic, which is a new enemy with an apodicon.
Yeah, and then the Mimic came out on this map. The Mimic Step as well. The Ray K, like, dude, not a lot of good coming from Firebase Z, personally.
On appearance and the return of Samantha Maxis. But the problem is that none of this is enough to remove the boring things on the map. Like those rounds, so to speak, specials, in which you have to defend the map from waves of zombies that come to attack you. If you let them attack, no one. They're going to pay for the generators. Meaning that you won't have power in the area. You have to turn it on. It gets very tedious. There are times...
Like, they tried doing, like, an Origins Templar round, but it's way too much. Like, Templars, you just throw a G-Strike and they're done. Not on this map, bro. It's a whole thing you have to wait and do. Again, never come back to this map,
Times when you are focused on doing the Easter egg, you get one of these special...
They introduced Tombstone again on this map. Like, come on.
Rounds and, well, you have to deviate from the path. Well, here comes a map that is a very personal taste, I admit it. In position number 47 is Mount Olympus, which is one of the maps of the Path of Torture.
So again, Tortured Path subset maps, I wouldn't have even included these because these are just survival maps. I don't even think I've ever played these survival maps. I've only ever played Tortured Path on all the separate maps, but never on the specific survival ones.
But in survival mode. In case you didn't know, these maps can be played in Path of Torture, or just to level up rounds, which, mind you, also have small XX, bar. It's not that the content limits it. All you want is to level up casually. I really recommend these Path of Torture maps. In this case...
Interesting. I don't care about leveling up or anything like that. I just enjoyed the experience, and this map
this one of the ship is the lowest for me, but the others that I will discuss later are much more fun. However...
Also, this map apparently had to be dumbed down because they wanted to make room for Voyage of Despair being another ship map coming out, like, very shortly after World War II for BO4.
It is for casual play, which does not want to lose that essence of the zombie mode. And as I said, the map still has 2 or 3 interesting ones. In 46th place, I'm going to put Shino Numa, Gaidi, the classic map from World of War, Gaidi, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 3, Gaidi, which was also released on CD Mobile and Vanguard. But anyway, let's talk about classic Shino Numa. Some people want to sell you that Vanguard Shino Numa is better type A, but for me...
No, bro, this is so not true, dude.
It's not. For me, classic Shino Numa has an aura, which Vanguard has nothing to do with. This map introduced the Wonder Wolf and also the dogs. Why do I consider it so special? At the time, I played it like crazy because it was the first map that allowed you to walk around relatively peacefully with the zombies.
I think that's the other thing. Like, it's a slower paced, more peaceful map, which is something I really hope we get to see also in Kawakujo, the new zombies map, which is another Tokyo kind of base map. This is kind of Tokyo's map as well. So, honestly, I feel like when it comes to this map, personally, I like it just because it's the easiest round 100 in all of COD Zombies, or easiest round 1,000 as well.
Because, let's see, Nasher, Toten, and Baruch, you can walk around with the enemy ball beta. but it's very complicated. I mean, a casual player, a normal player like me, was never going to be able to do it. That is,
Yeah.
I was going to reach round 10 at the latest. But here in Shiranuma, we could already explore this mechanic that is very important in Zombies mode today, Prole, knowing how to spin with the last ball. Although, well, in Black Ops 6, not so much because they run a lot from the high round onwards, but that's another story.
Yeah, well, I think what the AI is trying to say is like how this map taught people how to train, and like how to effectively take out zombies with the flogger and stuff, which ended up being a major mechanic with Black Ops 1 and all that. So, and also Shinonuma started the storyline. This map did a lot of things right, but it's definitely undershadowed, underplayed, underappreciated.
For me, it laid the foundations for what would become a crucial mechanic in Zombies, spinning with the ball. To talk about position number 45, we have to go to the Pentagon, and in Black Ops 1, B, Zombies with the 5 map. As you know, this is one of the most complicated maps in history to advance in rounds.
I think people dislike 5 because it's difficult. I love this map because it's a good form of chaotic fun.
It is not at all friendly for the casual player. In fact, I have to tell you that before I started doing live streams, I think my highest round was like 15-inch in solo, and I think that was leaning towards too much. I never knew how to
15 on 5 is like 50 on a Cold War map, bro.
prepare myself properly. Because in 5, reaching power is not that easy. You have to open a lot of doors, and then when you do that action of turning on the power, the weapon thief, Yuri.
I still think this is one of the hardest zombie maps ever. But that's, I think, what gives it so much of an appeal.
The scientist Utmout will come out. Learning to deal with him is not that easy. But once you master his strategy and understand that the improved starting pistol Mustang and Sally are very good, it will help you at least get a 40- round. Of course.
Yeah, like this 35 gameplay with the Howl here, this is impressive, bro.
It will not be an
I don't think I've even gotten past like round 40 on this map.
easy task. You will have to suffer a lot. At times, you will run out of ammo. Let's say that 5, since it is not a very friendly map, I do not feel like playing it that much, and it must be added that the special weapon of the map does not help much either. The Winter's Hoe is probably one of the worst weapons in general in history after round 20. The effort it will have to kill a bunch of zombies makes no sense.
No, the ray gun is literally better than the main wonder weapon on this map, which also makes it so much more difficult.
You will almost run out of ammo in round 30 to finish off 4 or 5 zombies. Okay guys, and in position number 44 appears the first map of the Zombies of Infinite Warfare, and it is the Beast from Beyond.
That's crazy that it made it this far. Beast from Beyond made it this far. I personally think this map is, again, one of the worst maps ever because it's literally just a pathway to a better boss fight being Mephistopheles, and then that's it. The map itself is like fully filler.
I'm going to give position number 44 to the Beast from Beyond. First map of Infinite Warfare Zombies that appears in this ranking, and you have to do objectives, classifying it only by the map, not by Mephistopheles. It is the worst in the game. It is a
See, and that's the thing. Like, the map itself is very dull, lifeless, boring, very bland.
space installation that has nothing that stands out. It takes about 10 minutes to do it, and the problem is that this map was made as a transition to the final fight of Mephistopheles. It was made basic, everything was done quickly, so that knowing that you were going to lose that battle, a lot of times you could get there quickly, but it doesn't work for me. I mean, this space installation could have been a little more...
This was trying to be like BO3 Revelations, but for all of the Spaceland maps, and it just fell flat. Like, it just did not work.
elaborate. I don't think there is even an area that comes to mind where it makes you want to increase the rounds on this map.
Exactly. Like, there's no iconic parts of the map itself.
Thinking about it, I think there's actually no fun place to level up in Beast from Beyond. Maybe in the New York street section, which, by the way, those streets look like they were taken from a shuffle somewhere.
Dude, I know, bro. Like, even the aspects they rip from the other IW maps, it just looks horrible on this map.
Well, and in fact, the arcade part that appears on the map is also recycled when your character dies and has to be revived in the arcade machines. And well, with the return of the cryptids, which didn't excite me too much because I'm not a fan of Extinction, then the final battle took you like 20 minutes. There were too many stages. I didn't like it at all. But hey, I understand that the focus was to access Mephistopheles.
Yeah, again, I feel like this map appeals to a very small portion of players that actually liked Extinction. And again, very hardcore map. I guarantee you a lot of casual people that play this map, they could not figure out how to turn on the power, and they never played this map ever again.
But that's not part of the Beast from Beyond map. It's something extra, so I'll leave it in 44th place.
Yeah, terrible map.
Now let's go to 43rd place, and the first Exozombies map appears, called Outbreak. Although this map is basic, it doesn't have that many functions, that many story steps.
First good Exozombies map, I think. Yeah, like, this is the best Exos map, and it was the very first one. The DLC season for this game was horrific. It's insane because we came from BO2 onto Exozombies, and like, everybody kind of wanted to forget about this game, especially after BO3 came out.
Then, his mind loosened up a bit, and they started to include more exaggerated steps. More steps that would make you cry. But Outbreak seems like a fun map to me, huh? Here for you to see. Yes, I like to level up. Bad thing is that the special weapon, honestly, doesn't shine. I think that's the case with most
No.
special weapons in this game.
The printer was such a cool idea, but the weapons and exos are so bad. Doesn't matter how much you upgrade them, they're just all bad.
It was a friendly
They
game,
don't
though,
do
with good
anything.
areas to level up in. Every now and then you can have a lot of fun with Outbreak Dexo zombies.
Yeah, like the egg can be fun, but I would not play this map for anything else.
Bad thing is that all the maps in this game are paid.
Yeah.
None come by default with the game.
That's
But if we talk about
true.
survival maps, E in 42nd place. And let's see, E, I think I put it too low, but oh well, whatever. E. There's Nukem Zombies from Black Ops 2.
What the frick was that? AI just glitched out, bruh. What the frick? Dude was thinking, unless that was something that he said in the original video. I don't know. I am glad, though. Let's get back to the ranking. I'm glad that Nuketown is just appreciated as one of the worst maps ever. Honestly, I think people cut Nuketown way too much slack when it comes to zombies. In my opinion, this should have never became a zombies map ever after BO2. And yet we got it 2 more times.
A very difficult experience where the perks drop randomly in each game. If you're solo, you have to be lucky not to get YouTuber until round 16. Well, there's not
Yeah, jug till like round 20 sometimes on this map. No, I'm all good, dude. 2-hit system, I'm all good, dude.
much more to say because it's a map that was literally released at the request of the community. Ever since Black Ops 1 came out.
Well, and see, that's the thing. It released at the request of the community because it was a novel idea in BO2, with Nuketown only ever appearing once at this point, to have it in a zombies mode. Cool. I'm fine with that. I still think it sucks, whatever. But adding it in BO4 and then BO7, that's where I draw the line.
In multiplayer, the community kind of threw around the idea of, hey, what if they released it in zombies mode and see how it works? It could be fun. It fulfilled what the community wanted at the time.
I agree with this. That's why the existence of it on BO2 warrants itself, but everything after, no.
Now, be prepared, because whenever you play it, it's going to be a pretty tough challenge.
Yes.
More or less in line with 5 in terms of difficulty. Sometimes I have a hard time figuring out which of these 2 maps is the most complicated, but the rest are pretty good. Well, in round 25, there's a reference that changes the color of the zombie's eyes, because it happens during the moon events. In other words,
yeah, and see, like, it honors Moon, it honors Black Ops 1, there's cool aspects that ties into the Victus storyline. Sure, bro, sure. It's fine. I don't like it. It's fine. Why is it in BO4 and BO7, bro?
This map happened at the same time as that map. You can also hear the transit bus, but that's gone now. Just survival. Another survival map that makes it to the list is the 41st location with Cervantes Cellars. The first one on the...
again, another tortured path map. I personally, like I said, I'd put all of this before any Treyarch map because literally who is playing this in the year 2026, bro?
Torture path. This map is pretty fun. I love the design it has. Again, if all you want to do is advance in rounds, I think you'll have a pretty good time. Here you are not overwhelmed with a ton of special enemies. Something interesting was that last year, a new eater was discovered on this map to get the Redbeard sword, a very tricked out melee weapon.
Yeah, so there was like an Easter egg randomly that came out literally like in 2025 on this map, which is insane.
A ray.
That shows how few people play this map, bro.
Which will help you to be able to do even higher rounds here. I mean, there are still mysteries in these zombies, and I think that's why I value them so much. But seriously, believe me that playing for a while on these types of small maps is also very enjoyable because they go hand in hand with the daily challenges that this game gives you.
I mean, again, I don't care. I don't care about, like, grinding XP and stuff if the map and the game itself just sucks. Sure, this is probably the best variant of the Tortured Path maps, but you ain't seeing me coming back.
That's why I think in my case it becomes so addictive, and I prefer it much more than maps like Nuketown or 5. Of course.
Interesting. So, because of the XP grinding, he actually likes these maps more than World at War maps. And this is the thing. I always say this. If a map is good, it doesn't need XP grinding, camo challenges, calling cards to unlock. It doesn't need all of that if it warrants its own existence, right? So that's why I personally am against this type of ideology, because I don't think because a game or a map is bad, it can be justified with, like, unlockables. No, bro. That's such a bad way of thinking, in my opinion.
Of course, it won't be as iconic as those two. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep moving forward, because if not, this video will take me 2 hours. I have reserved the number...
It's almost 2 hours, man. Let's go. We're going for it.
Number 40 spot for Party in the Woods, Trell, the DLC 1 of Infinite Warfare.
Okay, Raven the Redwoods, fair. I'm kind of shocked that this is so low comparatively. Like, no Shaolin Shuffle, no radioactive thing, which is kind of crazy. I still like this map. I could see myself coming back to this map. I did the round 100 like last year for it.
I
So
think this map unfortunately didn't live up to par because it fell
it definitely didn't though. It definitely didn't live up to the Spaceland standards.
back into the same mistakes as the zombies in Spatial, depending on the final battle, which in this case wasn't great, it was terrible. But let me explain.
The boss was okay.
The problem with Party is that it also has that psychedelic rave mode that looks awful, but guess what the steps are?
Yeah, the rave mode, like especially on like content creation videos, looks so bad.
First, you have to knock off the zombies' arms. The second step is to knock off their legs, and the third is to shoot the zombies in the head. That's basically 90% of the hysterics.
It's true. The Easter egg is very basic. I like that though. I think coming from Spaceland as well, that had an easy Easter egg into this map with an easy Easter egg was fun. And they took all that feedback and then they made freaking radioactive thing. And I'm like, bro, keep it easy. No.
And then you can enter the final battle, which I don't know for what reason, Lee, but the final boss is a giant slasher, a serial killer, right? Like
Yeah.
Mike Myers, tall, son from Friday the 13th, Jason, but he doesn't take full advantage. First, you
It is true. Yeah. It's kind of a weird boss. I don't know if it's like a full-on murder killer. I don't think that was the full-on vibe they were going for, but I get his complaints.
have to fill circles on the floor with souls, and if you take too long, the circles will collapse, and you can get stuck in the final battle. Let me tell you an anecdote. Many years ago, I did a challenge to pull crates twice with subscribers, and we didn't bring any special weapons. Since our weapons were so bad, we couldn't complete the final battle because we didn't have time to fill our souls to be able to deal damage to the boss.
That's crazy. Yeah, so it is kind of gated in that regard.
I'd say that constitutes a design flaw in the way the fight was staged.
True.
The theme of the map was wasted.
Thing is, though, a lot of IW had that, bro. Same thing with Shaolin Shuffle with Pam Greer, bro, and that boss fight with the Rat King. If you're not fully locked in and you have the right Fate and Fortune cards, you're not going to do it, bro.
It could have been much
cooked.
more epic. I'll tell you something though, the special weapons, which are elemental harpoons, there are two that are epic. Acid Rain and the Whirlwind.
The wonder weapons on this map are great, though.
I think
for
the only thing
sure.
I liked about partying in the woods was moving up in rounds in the part where all the music is. In the rave part, I really love that one. It's the only thing I like about the map, but it falls short compared to all the other maps in the game.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen someone rank Rave this low.
Well, guys, now we have to go to the Pentagon,
That's
but
crazy.
in its remake of Black Ops 4, Classified, this map
I do kind of think it's crazy that some people rank Classified above Original 5, but judging by his mentality of how he likes XP and unlockables, it does kind of make sense. But personally, for me, 5 is just way more enjoyable.
is an improved version of the original F with new areas, but without the weapon thief, without Yuri, which, it must be said, takes away a lot of its essence.
I agree. The Pentagon Thief is 5, bro.
It's not to be negative, right, but having an enemy like that gave
And it's crazy that like Blundell just recently came out and said like he didn't like the Pentagon Thief, which is why he axed it from this map, which I don't know. I kind of think that's a little lame.
the Pentagon a special touch. With ranked, this is no longer the case, but I love that it has a way to get the special weapon for free, the Winters, which is now much more worthwhile than in Black Ops 1.
It is,
And we also have a reward in rank for players in high rounds. This is the only map in the story that if you reach round 150, wow, it unlocks a final cutscene, which is actually canon, and it's part of the story of Black Ops 4.
Should have made it round 100.
It's not a random cutscene that they just threw in there for no reason. Now,
It honestly is a random cutscene because it actually makes zero sense with the story that Black Ops 4 gave. It would have only made sense if the Great War was the final map.
that worked is another story, because it didn't really cause. Unfortunately, when Black Ops 4 came out, it had a lot of technical issues, and I couldn't reach round 150 without it crashing. So it was discovered through cheats, which is a bit sad. But hey,
Yeah, especially because this was supposed to be the major announcement for a Great War map that people have been wanting for a while. And it just was so bad.
hey, good job, Treyarch. I hope this
Good
mechanic
job,
returns in the future
Treyarch.
to somehow reward players with such high rounds. Let's move on to the next position. Here I'm going to put the Final Rich, the initial zombies map
Final
from World War II.
Reich.
For many NE&M, it's the best in the game. Personally,
I agree. It is the best in the game. I do think that it's kind of more of like a B or A tier map, but I agree. The rest of the game falls off at this point.
I disagree, but I think it's a solid experience. What makes Final R such a special map? What, let's say, does it have the foundations of what a walkthrough is today in Black Ops 6? What do I mean? Well, you have two possible paths with the main one. One where the game guides you through all the steps
with
on the screen.
Journal.
Or then, at some point, it
I kind of wish we got the journal back. It's so weird that the journal didn't even make it past this map in its own game. And that was one of the best aspects of this map was the journal feature where you can do an easy version of the egg or the hard version. And now we kind of do have that in Black Ops 7 with directed mode where you can do the easy version of the egg on directed mode, or you can just do the regular on the regular map, or the hard mode now on cursed, right?
deviates into a more complex mode, where you have to figure out the steps yourself.
Yeah,
It kind of made the experience friendly for new players, especially a zombies mode that
I
even Juber didn't
agree.
have, and that was quite difficult to get out of. It still
I agree. I liked Final Reich for the journal, bro. It was a very interesting idea.
is, to be honest. Now, what's the problem with Final R? Because if it was as good as I made it sound, why isn't it higher? Well, the problem is that the final battle itself is the same. I understand that due to, I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's
development time
fair.
constraints, they couldn't make two different battles.
That's fair. I've never actually heard somebody get upset about that, but it is true. The boss is the exact same. That's fair.
But if you're going to make a guided game and the outcome is the same, the only thing that changes is that the map where you have to shoot, which drops the bombs, is a little more difficult in hardcore, right?
Well, and that's the other thing. It's the same thing in BO7. The map's boss is still the same on directed and on regular and on cursed. On cursed, it's slightly harder, but it's still the same boss,
real
right?
life. But in guided mode, you can't make the same battle, change something, put a new boss, keep surprises in store. Let's see, a lot
That's
of guys
true.
going. Now let's go to position number 37, and I think I would even say that this map is underrated despite the position I gave it. But why do I say that? The Shadow Throne map in World War II seems to me to have interesting mechanics. Quite
I think this map is fun on co-op, but I think this map is terrible on solo. And again, another very bland looking map. Personally, for me, I would not go back and play this map.
creative and fun steer steps. And we have 4 melee weapons as specials: a dagger, an axe, a mace, and then the red beard sword that appears on all the maps in the game.
Yeah, again, wonder weapons are fun if you're playing with 4 people that know what they're doing. Outside of that,
I'm lying.
not
I
fun.
don't think it's on the Darkest Shore, but on almost all of them. And we also have the Wonder Boss, which is the special weapon on the map itself. This one is quite weak, it must be said. But it's the one that will help you defeat the final boss and access the Zeppelin. Do you remember that in Final Rage we shot the Zeppelin, right? Well, in this map we already enter it, and we have the final battle against the boss inside the Zeppelin. Which I have to say is quite creative, honestly. That's why I say that these are mechanics that if I feel they had been put on a Treyarch map, they would be much more praised for all the originality they had.
I do agree with that. However, I do think the execution of the Zeppelin was kind of cooked in a lot of aspects. I do think this map was a nice surprise, especially after Darkest Shore, but still, it's not that great. And I would put this map way below transit, bro. Like way below. Like I don't go back and play World War II. If I'm not going back and replaying these maps still in 2026, they failed in a lot of regards, in my opinion.
It's also true that there are certain steps on this map that even remind me of some in Exo Zombies.
Yeah.
For example, at some point you have to give weapons to a smuggler, and it reminds me of Carrier where you have to give weapons to his hand so that he drops disdirect objects. Obviously, since it's the same studio that made the game, yes, years later they've added little nods. However, there are two things that
Yeah, personally for me, like Exos and World War II solidified to me that Sledgehammer games cannot create COD zombies. And it's kind of sad now because we live in a world where it seems like Treyarch can't even create COD zombies because High Moon Studios made a lot of Totenreich, right?
frustrate me quite a bit. First, there's a lot of Morse code and difficulty on this map, which is never pretty in Call of Duty
Yeah.
Zombies. And they also added a new type of enemy that makes the last zombie occasionally turn into a special zombie that explodes on you, which makes it impossible to leave a zombie for many steps.
Yeah.
The next map I'm going to talk about is Descent Yi, which comes in at number 36 and is the
Descent, I'm glad, is getting recognition for being the best Exo Zombies map. I think Outbreak is good, but Descent is like the one that's actually fun. It's got a cool atmosphere. It's underwater. Still to this day, our only official underwater zombies map, which is beyond
final
me.
map of Exo Zombies.
I think that's insane.
I have to say that if you just want to play normally here and advance through the rounds, you'll have a pretty good time, because all the goodies come out here. Good weapons like the introduction of the blunderbuss, which is great for the Steric, and the special weapon is also
Yeah, the blunderbuss is literally the wonder weapon of the map, not the freaking trident.
quite creative. It's like a kind of rubber ball, so to speak, that bounces off the walls and kills all the zombies. It's one that you have to know how to use, of course, and Ileg itself already has quite interesting and creative steps, like one where you have to make a circuit using the exosuit, or also the one where you have to use a suit to get to the water part and activate a valve.
Yeah, there are cool steps on this map. It is a cool underwater map. Again, I think Leviathan on BO3 Customs, though, just clears this map out the water, though. Is what
They
it
kind of
is.
took good advantage of the game's mechanics, made interesting use of the exosuit theme, but there are still too many special zombies, electric zombies, that turn off your exosuit and cloud the entire screen.
Yeah, that's
And I think the most important thing about Descent is that it's the first zombie map that introduced a final boss as such, and it's OS.
That is insane that this was the very first map to introduce boss. It's true. It's not a good boss. It's a guy in a DJ booth. Like, what a weird way to start zombie bosses.
In fact, you didn't even have to do the Hizrek to face him. You play
Yeah.
normally, and by
And you
round 20,
fight him.
you'll be able to face him for real. But let's
That's
continue with the
true.
ranking, because in 35th place is the Attack of the Radioactive Thing, E, a map.
I cannot believe this made it this far. Personally, for me, I see how a lot more people are liking this map because of the complexity of it, but this map is dog, bro. It's so ugly as well,
From
bro.
Infinite Warfare Zombies. I have to say something. I find the whole egg quite boring, quite tedious, but I think the
Yes.
final battle against the radioactive thing saves the map quite a bit.
Interesting. The boss is fun. I give it that. The boss is very fun. It's very interesting. It's a good culmination of all the egg steps, but the egg itself is horrific.
Hey, playing this map with friends in the laser beam pass is going to be one of two things. Either you laugh at your teammates' quote fails, or you're going to end
Yeah.
up making enemies, right?
That's so true. That's
Because
so
sometimes spending
true.
2 hours and having a teammate who is the one who constantly fails the laser beam pass is a nightmare. I'll put it in
Yeah.
context for those who don't know. Basically, Jai, the radioactive thing, before you can enter to plant a bomb on it, Jai, you have to pass a circuit that already summons laser beams. If that beam hits you, hey, it almost kills you. If you get hit again, oh, goodbye. If you take too
Yeah.
long to get past these beams, she'll shoot you with those eggs she throws, so you have to be quick and not miss.
There is a lot of ways to like bypass this step though, so this is not even that bad. But I do remember playing this in the Boogie Boys house in 2017. If you guys even remember that, oh my gosh, what a throwback! And we were all trying to do this. We probably were stuck on this boss for like 90 minutes just on this step because we were all so bad.
Coordination is key to completing this,
Yeah,
and that's why so many fails happen.
yeah,
But I think it's an experience that you have to do at least once with your friends.
very true.
I'm not going to tell you to level up. That doesn't seem as fun to me. But at least I think the attack of the activated thing is pretty good. Location 34.
The boss fight is fun.
I know this is a bit too personal, but for me, Altar of Blood, a survival map that's part of the Torture Path Owl,
Dude, what is up with the tortured path maps up here, bro? Again, this is a no from your boy, bro.
is a perfect map to just go around and annihilate zombies. The amount of hours I've put into this map makes no sense. In fact,
That's crazy.
I'd say it's the one I've played the most in this entire game. A good selection of wall
Wow.
weapons. We have all the perks in the game. Also the mystery box. A couple of hisks to, for example, get the red beard sword. You can even get the Tesla weapon from the final rich map here. And they don't overwhelm you with an exaggerated amount of special enemies. Every once in a while, every
Again, I've never even loaded up any of these survival maps even once, I don't think.
10 rounds, the flamethrower comes. But it's only one at a time, and to make a round up to 30 casually, the Blood Altar is perfect. Believe me, this map is quite underrated. In fact, I've played this map so much that I'm in second place in the world in explosive kills on PlayStation. On this
What? Yeah. I mean, I think that just says it all.
map alone, from the amount of
That's
hours I've put into it,
crazy.
which, let's see, is something. Number 2, with 80,000 explosive kills, although first place has 300,000, so I think I'll never reach that. And, well guys, I'm sorry to some, this may be an insult to me, but I'm gonna put the Deadpool operation map from Modern Warfare 3 Zombies in 33rd place.
Holy moly. That is insane. Again, this is another zombies experience to me that doesn't even remotely come close to something like Transit or Die Rise. This mode fell off as soon as they said no new perks, no new enemies for the rest of the DLC, and I was like, yeah. I can't even believe they got away with just literally putting zombies in a Warzone map. It is insane to me.
For many, this mode was terrible. Some
It
even said it was
was.
worse than Vanguard, which I think is outrageous.
In a lot of ways, it is because it's just Warzone with zombies. At least Vanguard tried to innovate the original mode with Warzone aspects. This is literally just Warzone zombies.
Operation Deadpool, the problem it had was that they were 45 minus minute or hour long games where you had to complete challenges.
Timed zombies as well. Just never again, Treyarch. Please.
At the beginning of the game, there were 3 chapters and each one had different challenges. Some very basic, others not so much. And while you were doing that, you could also get blueprints. Every time you completed contracts that were all over the giant map you could get blueprints for perks like Juger, Shotakiri, Floper, etc.
Like, there were interesting ways to, like, upgrade yourself, which were fun at the beginning that I enjoyed for sure. But just the mode itself was so diabolical, bro. A mode that, like, requires so many players, that's online only. Like, one day you will never be able to play this game mode ever again. That's the thing.
Also blueprints for Pack-a-Punch crystals, rarity tools, special weapons. It was a very addictive game. It made it replayable. At the time, I really questioned why the games lasted an hour. But now I understand. They last that long so that farming would be interesting. Because otherwise, in theory, you could stay in a game for 7 hours and already get all the content. Of course, I understand that this map or this mode is not for everyone. And they'll say, what if you put Operation Deadpool? Why didn't you put the Outbreak maps? It's not the same. Because in Outbreak there are 4 challenges and you change
That's
maps.
true.
Not here.
Yeah.
Here is the full map with contracts everywhere.
I mean, a lot of people said they liked this boss fight, but again, could not be asked to even attempt it.
Dark ether areas that add even more content, and I think if you've never played it and today you have the chance to try it on Game Pass, you're going to have a lot of fun with your team of 3 people.
Yeah.
I don't know how populated the lobbies are, but at the time, these zombies from Modern Warfare 3 were pretty top.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, this mode literally lives and breathes if you are able to get a lobby of, like, 40 plus people, I think. And that's difficult, bro.
This game also has final battles, OS, like with the Entity. This is one of the most epic battles we've had with a pretty top dark letter design. Also, don't feel that Mod Warfare 3 Zombie is an embarrassment to the mode, nothing to do with it, okay? If you can give it the chance, as I told you, do it. For position number 32,
It's interesting because there were interesting innovations from this mode, but ultimately it's kind of like Extinction to me, where it's just like not zombies, you know?
I decided to place Forsaken here, Asa, the final map of Cold War.
That's fair. Literally, this map is honestly one of those maps that ages poorly more and more as like Firebase Z does, because Firebase Z introduced the mimics and this introduced the abominations, which are two of the most overused enemies in modern zombies.
By the way,
next to the Mangler.
a completely recycled map from the campaign, but with purple
Yeah.
crystals to make it look like zombies. But it's true that the special weapon is pretty good, huh? The Cryolax, which is first a submachine gun that also turns into a melee weapon. This
I mean, the only reason this is above Firebase Z is because the Wonder Weapon's better. That's literally it.
was the first appearance of the Abomination, an enemy that we've already seen in Mod Warfare 3 Zombies and in Black Ops 6. And a
And BO7.
pretty impressive final battle where Samantha Maxey helped us defeat the Forgotten One. What I would have
I didn't like this egg boss fight. This egg boss fight's very boring.
asked for is for the final boss to move a little more because he was
Yeah.
very static. I
It's very static, but it's also just very boring. You just sit on a turret and shoot him, and that's it.
hate those fights where the boss just gets stuck in one place and barely moves anymore. As for the boss, it's very basic, huh? I mean, they literally made him into butter so that he would make it to the final battle. I mean, the steps are really too simple. I think the map where I lose it is that
Well, then, like, the conclusion of this whole game and boss fight is that it becomes the worst Wonder Weapon in BO6 Reckoning, being the Gorg effects. Like, what are they thinking?
had already seen the design because I played the CB campaign. I mean, I already knew the entire map layout or almost everything because I think the starting area is different. And that's the problem I have with Cold W. The maps are no longer epic locations, but rather just facilities and Russian soldiers.
Exactly.
No? I don't know. They deviated a bit from how epic or mystical the story of the zombies mode could be. Alright, let's move on to a map that is quite epic, quite mythical, and that's Shangri-La Chun, which we
Wow, Shangri-La this low. Again, dude, every ranking I watch, people just dog on Shang. I mean, granted, I don't think it's like a top 20 map, but it's just crazy that we go from Forsaken to Shangri-La, bro. That's crazy.
saw in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3, a map that requires 4 people to complete. To advance in
Yeah.
rounds, I can't think of a single place where you can advance without any problems. It's really
No, this is one of those maps you have to play around the whole map or at spawn.
hard, honestly.
Yeah.
Shangri-La is not a friendly map. At the
No.
time, it always had 0 to 1% of players when it was
It is very true. This is one of the least played zombie maps on Treyarch Zombies ever, next to Shinonuma, which is so sad because they're two of the most beautiful maps, but they're just insanely difficult. This is insanely difficult, but Shinonuma is the complete opposite. It's like just insanely too boring.
shown in
you
Black
know?
Ops 1. But for me, since I'm a diehard Loserek fan, Surek saves me. Time travel will tell you. It has quite a few references to what was later implemented a lot in the zombie mode of being trapped in
Yeah.
a cycle.
This Shangri-La is one of the best Easter eggs ever. I feel like people do not give this map's egg enough love. Even though the map might not be fun for you, the egg is incredible.
Which in this case is with the explorers, Brock and Gary, who were trapped in a
Yeah.
kind of purgatory, and you had to free them. So
It was really
that's why I
cool.
carry it around quite a bit and don't put it lower on the list.
This map feels like an escape room to me.
But it's true that if you want to play with the pissed egg alone, it's not friendly at all, huh? Not at all.
Yeah.
That's why I criticized the transit mode at the time. Because I feel that Shangri-La, by the time it came out in 2011, was quite complex and required a lot of teamwork. Something that was
This was easily the hardest map when it first came out. Like, I would say this and 5 still to this day are two of the hardest zombie maps ever. Probably 5 is harder, but still this is up there.
completely lost in transit. I don't understand. And that's what happened later, but oh well. Even so, Shangri-La is a very good map, and with the baby gun, Nag gun, one of the best special weapons. If you analyze it, the baby gun doesn't actually kill the zombies, but it makes them small, so you can hit them with another weapon or stomp on them and send them flying too. Well, roll
Yes,
guys,
sir.
let's go now with the number 30 spot. And be careful, the first ranking I did, I put Ascension in the 10th spot. I lowered it quite a bit, but that's because
Dang.
now I wanted
Dude, again, Ascension and Shang with the hatred, bro. Crazy. I just think people don't come back to these maps nowadays because there's just not much to do. Like, it's the first Easter egg, sure, but like, again, if you want like the Thunder Gun, you can play Kino. You can play a bunch of other maps as well. So I get why people dislike Ascension, but it's just insane because like when this map first dropped, it was so hyped. It was like the Horizon Drac of Black Ops 1. That's how it felt.
to classify the maps in a different way. The thing is that Ascension is the first map that had an E-Turk. That's why I put it very high in the one from 6 years ago. But aside from that, Ascension is very basic. We do have the Thundergun Gersh, which is fun, but we have the Robat Monkeys. What a nightmare mechanic, my god.
Yeah, the monkeys for a lot of people suck. Granted, on BO3, you can just pop some nukes and they're all dead, which is really nice addition to this map. But I agree, so many people don't know that, which is why it's still probably not super highly rated for most people.
Hey, in Black Ops 3, I'm lucky that I can use the gum, right? So that I get
Yeah,
Kabam and thus eliminate that round. But in
yeah,
Black Ops 1 day, preventing them from stealing Juger or Speed Cola is almost impossible. And the problem
yeah.
with these enemies is that if they steal your quick revive IVE, it counts as a fall. In other words, it counts as losing a real perk. Imagine a game where you're doing excellently in a very high round. Oh, but the monkey stole your perk. Oh well, you ran out of quicks. No, I don't think it's fair. Ascension isn't a bad
It's
map
true. It is true. I wish the monkeys weren't able to steal quick revive, just specifically. That is very true.
at all. In fact, I would say it's one of the good ones. Uddy, but unfortunately, I think there are 29 better experiences than this map. Oh well,
Yeah,
I hope you
that's
understand me,
fair.
and let's continue with the list.
That's
Well,
fair.
E3 guys, now for number 29. It may come as a surprise, it's not a bad map, okay? Don't get me wrong, but the Tomb of Black Ops 6, from what we expected,
Dude, this shouldn't even be above Shang. I mean, bro, this should be way back, bro. For me, the Tomb is like the thing that honestly killed modern zombies hype permanently. Like even into BO7. Ashes of the Damned, I think, didn't perform as well because of how bad this map was. And it's very sad, but it's the way it is.
Elme, from what excited us before its release, Treyarch, Elme, didn't live up to expectations. It didn't give
No.
us what we really
You can't advertise a map as being something similar to Origins like they were trying to do, and then it's this subpar, bro. They cannot do that, bro.
wanted. There were rumors
Like, that's how you take away trust from the community right there.
that it was going to be like a remake of Origins. Okay,
Yeah.
this is a small Origins map, right? I mean, read the
It's not even remotely close to Origins, bro. Like, don't even say anything like that if it's something that you're trying to like bring players in, because this literally made a lot of people lose their trust with Treyarch because of this.
smallest one they could find. On this map, we have the return of the Ice Staff, main, but only this staff. Why did they bring that one and only one? It's
Exactly. They only brought one staff. Half of what made Origins iconic is not here. You know, what were they thinking?
not
bro?
explained because
The boss is the Sentinel artifact. Like, what?
of the power of the script. Hate Akon, basically. But I don't know.
Oh my
The tomb scenario
gosh.
is a bit tedious for me. Getting the staff and upgrading it, man. Oh my god, it just doesn't appeal to me. That's why I almost don't play
No.
it. Let's see, considering how small the tomb is, which is the smallest map, I think
And then amalgams in this map again, the doppelgas, and it's part of the Easter egg as well. Get this map out of here.
even smaller than Liberty Falls from Black Ops 6. It's not bad, I dingy, but it's not the most replayable. I have to say that what I'm also going to highlight is the final battle against the Sentinel artifact. I like how it works. I give the battle 10 points, well, not 10 points, all. I give the final battle 8 points, all, but I give Alist 6, and that's why I leave it so low in 29th place. And it
I think people like this boss fight because it's hard. That's really it. But ultimately, like, it's not an engaging fight whatsoever. You're shooting a piece of furniture. Like, what are we getting excited about here?
should also be noted that if you're one of those people who likes to climb rounds camping with the ice staff, here, you'll be able to easily complete a round 100. Seriously, it's too easy because the ice staff is still quite broken.
Yeah, the ice staff is insanely ridiculous on this map as well. So that's why they didn't add in any of the other staffs. But just, I don't know. Don't understand why this map exists, to be honest.
Well, guys, let's go now to the legendary SOG Classic Darius map, the first map where the bomb monkeys came out.
So weird. We go from freaking the tomb to Darius and the giant. That's fair. Crazy, but listen, Darius is the best World at War map. I still rank it as my top 20 zombie maps ever because it is one of the best co-op zombie experiences you can ever have, period.
Where we could go around with the Wonderwolf. Pretty good. It was a good strategy
Yeah.
that could be done here, relatively calm. And the first map that introduced the Pack-a-Punch mechanic, believe it or not, there were quite a few discussions in the Treyarch offices because there were workers who were opposed to introducing this machine, saying that it would make the mode not very realistic. Well, it's a good thing they
Can
didn't.
you imagine if they never added the pack punch machine in zombies? Again, it's like one of those things from World at War where it's like we could have just still been getting Nocturne and Totem type maps, and this game mode would have died out like a decade ago.
Well, because these days zombies mode is anything but realistic. Boy, it's not the coolest thing in the world.
Literally.
And we know that the power-up is a trademark of Call of Duty Zombies. Thinking of a map that doesn't have Pack-a-Punch is thinking of something, I don't know, sad, regrettable. I don't
It's thinking of Vanguard, bro. That's literally what it is, and that's why it's at the very beginning of this list as the worst map.
think I'm giving it a very high position because I know there will be people who will say to me, seriously, G, don't you think you were very generous? Guys, I even remember when I was in college, when it was bleps, let's say net 2012. Black Ops 1 had already come out a long time ago, and I was still playing Dare with friends for 4 people. Hey, we were terrible,
Bro, listen, let me give you guys a story. So I have a friend, right? And his dad only ever played the Giant on BO3. And he probably played the Giant on BO3 for like 2 or 3 years straight every single day. That is how insane this map is comparatively to everything else. Like, this map grabbed a portion of zombie players that I don't even think play zombies anymore so like efficiently, so effectively that it has to be a top 20 map. If you don't put Derice as a top 20 map, I feel like you're just not honoring what created the DNA of zombies as a whole.
We didn't get
You
past a
know?
27, I think, but we still had an amazing time. It really took survival in zombies mode to its maximum splendor.
Exactly.
It's my feeling that for 4-person rounds, RIS is one of the best maps there's ever been.
I agree. This is still to this day the best co-op map probably ever. I don't think they'll ever beat this, to be honest.
Solo mode, well, I think it changes a bit. You'll see later which map I'm going to put on top. It's incredible what I'm going to say, E, but number 27, and leaving nostalgia aside, goes to my dear E, my beloved Kino del Totem.
That's fair. You know what? And honestly, I think this is probably one of the higher rankings of Kino. Listen, yes, Kino der Toten is the most overrated zombies map next to Transit. Yes, we get it. Is it still a good map, though? It's not number one. Chaosic Silencer, right? It's not number one. I don't even think it's top 20, but I think this is a pretty good spot for it. Like, in between the top 20, 30 maps. I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
I may sound exaggerated when I say this, Otez, but it's the most iconic map in zombies mode because a lot of people know what Kino del Totem is, even if they haven't played the mode since Black Ops 1.
Exactly.
Kino del Totem has a great special weapon, the Thundragon. A theater that's a good location, that's enough for you.
Like, you can't knock this map because of its iconicism, right? I don't think it's one of the worst maps, but it's definitely not one of the best maps.
Start killing zombies, start running around, survive. I believe the introduction of dogs to this map was also incredibly well executed. It doesn't matter which version of Kino del Totem you play, whether it's Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 3, they're both pretty good. The mystery with the theme of the tapes, which, well, we know that in the end that didn't lead anywhere, honestly. But anyway, it was something pretty basic. And it's also true that
This map did what it needed to do effectively, right? Which was start the massive craze of Call of Duty Zombies, keeping it OG enough, keeping it kind of scary while adding in great things like a wonder weapon that's actually powerful, which is something that modern zombies really struggles with today. I don't think a Thunder Gun could ever come out in modern zombies because you buy ammo for wonder weapons now, right? So they're not technically even wonder weapons anymore.
Totem had a little teaser, little Easter egg, that made reference to a rocket taking off. I mean, this was obviously talking about Ascension. It was something that surely at the time nobody understood why we make a rocket take off. And later it was a reference that it was going to be the first DLC of the game. And I don't know, man, let's be clear. If you want to level up, which map are you going to think of first? Kino Totem? Obviously, because of how epic it is, we have at least 2 good areas to do round 40, 50, 20.
And again, this was back in the day when a lot of people couldn't really buy DLC for different Black Ops games. And so the majority of people just stuck with Kino der Toten. And it was good enough, you know?
The theater, and also outside where Double Tap is. And I remember that for many years I tried to do round 50 that I could never do until I finally achieved it when I started doing live streams. Years later. Not the first ones. However, guys, this may come as a surprise to many, but for me, in 26th place, there is Black Ops 2 Town. This version of
insane that this is like the Kino der Toten of Black Ops 2, right? It's fair. Honestly, this is a fun map. Honestly, Town is so iconic. You see it in all these different games like Roblox, Fortnite. You see it in all these different games, right?
It has earned an incredible position. But I find it so much fun to do rounds here, or the Pocket-Punch Challenge. Despite the fact that it is a map that looks dark with lava, it is not the most aesthetically pleasing, but what a town that has an essence. I think it is because it is more difficult. Here you do not depend on a broken special weapon like the Thunder, but the Raygon Mar 2, if you have purchased the buried DC. It seems like you are going to be tested much more here. Even on a map as small as Town, there's a strategy when you play solo, and that is not to open the door of the bank where Speed Cola is. Because if you do that, the game becomes total chaos. Those types of details, I don't know, are what make it so replayable for me years later. It is 2025, 2 years later, and at least once a month I do a challenge in Town. And yes,
I think them adding the Mark II to Town also just made it so much better. I remember the community was going crazy when that happened. Like, so many people were so excited because they were like, how do we get the Mark II on this map and on this map? I wish Treyarch would do more things like that. Add more wonder weapons. Like, don't even just throw in a new zombies map. Like, bro, why don't you just add the Thunder Gun into every single map on, like, Cold War or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, that is what BO1 and BO2 did so effectively that made it so catered towards the zombies player. I wish Treyarch would do more of that.
I know that this is a very personal experience, but hey, That's how the entire ranking has been so far, right? Based on what I enjoy, and that's why I'm leaving it in 26th place as one of the best survival maps, nothing more or less.
That's
As I said
fair.
at the beginning of this video, I'm going to try to be as objective as possible, and that's why I'm going to give position 25 to the...
Honestly, this list hasn't been so bad so far. I think the only thing I can really complain about with this list is the World War II map placements, but I get why he's putting them there, considering what type of player he is.
Moon map, Luna.
Yeah.
For many people, it may be the best map in history, but for me, it's the most overrated map in Zombies mode.
I agree with that. I also do think, though, that Moon is not, I don't know. You can't, it's another one of those maps where you can't rate it poorly. You can't rate it as like top 20. Maybe you can, but personally for me, it's like right in the middle. You know, it's a fun map. It's got a lot of great to it. It's got a lot of annoying aspects as well, but you can't knock on it, you know?
Because the saving grace is that it's basically on the moon and a couple of steps away. For example,
Exactly. Like, that's really the appeal of it.
the pyramid, where you exchange souls with Samantha, and that you actually destroy the Earth at the end. But
Like, sure, if you're about the lore and the storyline, Moon is like a penultimate zombies map of Richtofen lore and the summoning key and all this, the real device, whatever, the golden rod, right? But as someone for gameplay, it's all right. It's got a fun egg, got a great wonder weapon. It's all right.
apart from that, the mechanics that were introduced in Moon are just to annoy the player.
Exactly, right? Exactly.
If you're a single player in Black Ops 3 who can do a single player lift,
You know what this map reminds me of? It reminds me of Blood of the Dead, where Treyarch knew people were going to love this map because of the story implications, and because of that, they just added in a bunch of annoying features to make it so people would have a hard time getting to the good part. Like with Blood of the Dead's Easter egg steps, right? Where the story of the map is so incredible, but getting there, same thing with Moon, it has that same aspect. While Blood of the Dead does it way worse, it's that same philosophy, you know?
what you need to do is the following. Pull the box to get the Gersh grenades and the special weapon. Okay, see Paul, you're going to have to throw the gears to collect some plates, widers, then pull the box again to get the quantum grenades, and at the end of the E-turn, pull the box again to recover the GS.
Again, this is one of those maps where I feel like Blood of the Dead is as well. It's very not solo designed. There's so many maps in zombies that I feel like are only co-op designed.
I'm not lying when I tell you that I've pulled the box like 100 times in live streams in the last 2 years on that map because of how complicated it is to get that specific combination. Ood, because it has to be in that order.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, well, if you get the quantum grenade first. These are very archaic mechanics by now. And
They are. And I mean, even with immolation on BL3, it doesn't even help because it's still so awful to get it all.
I feel like the Chronic Zombies version should have included some to get Gersh or Quantums.
I know, right? They added in a Space Dog Easter egg, but not a free Gersh side Easter egg or a free QED side Easter egg. That's crazy to me. Crazy.
And you have to take out the special weapon to shoot once with it, and that's it for that. In the Black
Yeah, and the wave gun is so underutilized. It's so true.
Ops 1 version, Asian, your team needs to have completed Shangri-La and Call of the Dead, and at least one of the characters in the game needs to be Richtofen.
Yeah.
That's why in the Black Ops 3 version, when you play solo, Richtofen always appears. In fact, when you play with two, it's not. Richtofen always appears so that this problem doesn't happen. Now let's pretend, gaming. I don't care about Elreg. I'm not going to do it. I just want to play.
I love when I'm listening to the commentary and it just goes, like the AI is just like, it's like stuttering. That Nuketown part as well was so funny.
Casual and have fun on the moon. Perfect, bro. You're going to have to deal with an astronaut who is very silent. He's a ninja, and if he grabs you and you don't manage to kill him in time, he'll take away a perk and send you to an area where he'll leave you in the red.
Granted, the astronaut is much easier to deal with in BL3 with Deadwire, but yeah, he's still annoying.
If you're playing alone, it's fine. You won't fall. But if you're with friends, imagine if he sends you to a place where your friends' zombies are. They slap you and that's it. You've lost all your perks.
Yeah.
And it can also happen that the astronaut hugs you and sends you to the side where there's an excavator drilling.
Even though he's talking about how annoying this boss is, I would rather have the moon astronaut than manglers, amalgams, abominations, doppelgasts, and that's just the way it is. I would rather have one boss that has a mechanic like the astronaut than 4 bullet health sponges, bro. Every single time.
And now let's talk about the excavators, a mechanic that can trap you if you're not careful. Sometimes it's happened to me that the 3 excavators drill the map and I get trapped in the starting area. The only way to escape is for the astronaut to grab you and try to send you somewhere else, or for you to use a Gersh device. I don't know, man. These are mechanics that I don't think are worth it. It's like
I do think this map would have greatly benefited from a Gersh and QED free side Easter egg. Like, I don't understand why Blundell was not thinking about this. I think it was because the main debate of this map was actually if PhD was going to be on the map instead of Widow's Wine. And Widow's Wine just does not fit Moon at all. It breaks all the glass everywhere. So tragic.
What I mentioned in Base Z, where you have to deviate from your path of calmly uploading rounds to have those excavators, but with the hacker. No, 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 no.
Yeah, that's true. It is very similar to Firebase like that.
It's too tedious. Now let's go to number 24, Zombies in Spatial.
Dang, 24? Sheesh. Dude, for me personally, I still think this is a top 5 zombies map. I really do believe it. Like, this is probably the only reason I load up Infinite Warfare and I have it downloaded on my computer today. Because this map is peak.
Which for me is the best map in Infinite Warfare Zombies by far, because we're in an amusement park where we can play on the arcade games, ride a roller coaster and all that while we fight countless rounds of zombies.
I've always wanted a zombies map like a theme park like this, and it's just so unfortunate the timing of this map after Revelations, because so many people were so pissed with the BL3 ending cutscene, and then we got Spaceline and everybody's like, what the frick is this, bro? Whereas, like, this map was better than the finale of BL3. You know what I mean?
Zombies. In addition to the fact that when you play on the machines, they give you tickets that you can then exchange for rewards. It's literally...
Hey, Majora's Mask on the subscription. Let's go, buddy. Ocarina of Time remake coming out. Let's go, buddy.
Like going to Cifags or Disney, whatever. But the problem Spatial had was that he was attacked by a lot of people before he came out. They made fun of the map, say that there were...
And that's the thing. This map was unjustifiably dogged on, even by myself, because of Black Ops 3. So I blame Black Ops 3 for anyone not liking this map, truly.
For clowns, that it was ridiculous, which is silly, because in fact the round of clowns is one of the most fearsome that we have in zombies. If you're not careful, they'll take you down very quickly because they'll explode on you. It's a map that received completely unnecessary hate.
It's so true. And you know what? I got my hands up, bro. Police come and take me, bro. I'm responsible for the hatred, bro. I get it, bro. I was part of the problem, but granted, I think this was Treyarch's negligence and Activision's negligence of understanding the zombies mode, because you have to remember at the time we got Garad Crovey, Revelations, and Spaceland in a 3-month period, bro. And that was after 3 months of nothing from Zetsubo to Garad. So, I mean, whose fault really is it? Is it Activision's or is it Treyarch? I mean, we all know, bro.
If they had played it without prejudice, surely most would have enjoyed it. The stair egg itself is very short, but if you want to get the special weapons, which are like types of ray gun...
I don't think short Easter eggs are a problem. I just think it's how it's done. And I think Spaceline does an excellent job. It's a short Easter egg, but it's so much fun because the boss fight is what makes this map so unique.
That's when it will take you a little longer. And each of these ray guns have completely different attacks. It's not like Treyarch.
Yeah, the only gripe I have with Spaceline is the wonder weapons should have been buffed. If Lee Ross buffed the wonder weapons, this map probably would have been top 3 for me.
Cool. Now, once you have your special weapon, water, you can go into battle against the alien battle, which is one of the most fearsome bosses in history, and the number of aliens you will encounter in battle depends on...
And yeah, like, what a cool idea. The number of aliens scales to the amount of players you have. So a 4-player lobby is just as difficult as a solo lobby, because you got 4 aliens shooting at you and teleporting. Like, Lee Ross was on another wavelength when he made this map, bro. Literal genius, dude.
On the number of
we just couldn't see it. We were too obsessed with the freaking stupid blood vials that Rick Toffin was holding. Frick those blood vials, bro. We couldn't see that peak was right in front of us, man. Oh my goodness.
Players in your game. If there are 4 people and it is their first time in this battle, it is very likely that they will be humiliated by these aliens. Why? Because the amount of damage they do is crazy.
Yeah, no, I remember a lot of zombie YouTubers were pissed because we were actually stumped on a boss fight for once. Meanwhile, we got modern zombies and you got all these like near-death experiences and people just rinse the boss instantly. Bro, not Spaceland, bro. Oh my gosh.
And how frenetic the entire area of the final battle gets.
Yeah.
Some people even say that this map is the best in history. Never. I mean, I don't think so. But
I don't think it's the best in history, but I do still think this is the best non-Treyarch Zombies map ever made. Hands down.
It's true that
I'm shocked this is 24th on his list, personally.
Spatial is very fun, and it was hard for me to put it in this position because it could easily be a little higher. At least in the top 15, it could easily have reached.
I think easily this is a top 10 map. Easily.
That's how it is when you make rankings.
Yeah.
Let's go now with position number 23. I'm going with Mauer Totem B, the map based on Berlin.
I think this map gets too much love. I'm sorry, bro. Sure, Mauer is a fun Cold War map, but bro, I got to round 100 on my very first game of this map in like 3 hours. Like, okay, the Cerberus is fun, but the map itself, are we really ranking this above Spaceland?
By Cold War.
Nah.
It is the only one that is not a generic installation. Where do we have a great special weapon, which is the Cerberus? Of course, its variants seem terrible to me. Each one worse than the last. I mean, its basic form is the best. We have Klaus, who helps us do a couple of hysterical steps, like having a moving train.
There's good to this map. Like, I'm not dissing that, but there's no way this is above Spaceland. Zero way.
Which I think is
Zero
epic.
way.
And the final battle against Valentina, which is easily among the hardest battles in the history of Zombies mode. To this day, many people still fail against her, including me. Hey, in addition to the fact that this map saw the
Yeah, the map, dude, could you imagine if this game didn't have Ring of Fire and you did that Easter egg boss fight?
return of the Panzer Soldat that appeared in Black
Nope.
Ops 2, Black Ops 3. Now
Nope.
here it had a new look, and that also returned in Black Ops 6 with a new design too. That's why I left Meyer in 23rd place.
That's crazy.
Let-
I'm shocked this is above Spaceland. That's insane.
Let's go now to 22nd place, and here appears the legendary Call of the Dead map, the Black Ops 1 Lighthouse with George Romero with 2 special weapons. The
My number 2, the GOAT, bro. I tweeted this out literally because somebody posted a picture of Call of the Dead on Twitter and I quote tweeted it and I was like, people still don't understand how peak this map is. And so many people liked that post and I was like, dude, it's because this map was the guy, bro, on Black Ops 1. Like, this was the coolest map at the time. The first celebrity casted map. Listen, Tog is trash, sir. I will let him say that, but Call of the Dead, I understand why it's this much higher than Tog. It is just such a good map, bro.
Scavenger and the VR-11.
It's so hardcore. It brings back like the original feeling of like very difficult zombies. It's a great co-op map, great Easter egg. There's so much to love, man.
I mean, having 2 new special weapons on a map was impressive.
Yes,
And Matryoshkas
bro.
also came out.
Like, the only thing we don't like is Deadshot, and that's fair, bro. It's Deadshot Daiquiri.
Although we were in Siberia, Len, they didn't give us the Gersh device here, Len, which is quite unfortunate. And we had a cast of new characters, including Michael Rooker from The Walking Dead, and Sarah Michelle Gellar, also.
Like, that's what I mean, bro. No, like, no modern zombies map did it better than Call of the Dead, bro. With a celebrity cast, with the cast and crew, with the setting, bro, with George Romero, the father of zombies. Get out of here, man.
Also from Buffy the
Get
Vampire
outta
Slayer.
here.
Well,
Come
how can we
on.
forget Donnie Treasure Machete? Obviously. What I also like about Call of the Dead is that it's a map that has a very peculiar feature. It's the only one in history that has a perk for whether you're a solo player or if you play co-op. There are maps that have 2A, right? Like Transit and Bury It, but not.
Dude, and that's the thing. A solo Easter egg, a co-op Easter egg in Black Ops 1, the second Easter egg ever. Dude, they weren't thinking like they were back with Call of the Dead, man.
Not designed in this way.
Oh
They
my
adapted it so that
gosh.
if you're a single person,
And this map came out in 2011. It's 2026. This map is 15 years old, still dogging and washing every single modern zombies experience. It's crazy.
yeah, you could do Elago
Crazy.
shot, yes, yeah, but so that you could do it as a single player. Also, every time you
Mad.
killed George Romero, who had a lot of health, yes, he gave you a free perk and a Wonderwolf booster.
All I'm going to say, if you're a Call of the Dead hater, is there is a reason why the #1 custom zombies map ever on BO3 is Call of the Dead Remastered. That's all I'm going to say. It's peak.
Total, we have
That's all
4
I'm
special
gonna
weapons
say.
on this map. The Reagan, the Scavenger, the VR-11, and the Wonderwolf, which, well, was a power-up. You'd run out of bullets, and that was it, but it was a great idea anyway. I think it was a pretty creative map for its time, and, well, its remake in Teeter Totem wasn't even close to reaching the heels of what Call of the Dead was. But hey, guys, now let's move on to what is, for me, the best map in Cold War. And believe it or not, the award goes to the Machine. The initial map of this game is...
I hate to say this, but D Machine is nowhere above my boy Spaceland or Call of the Dead. Yes, D Machine did what many modern zombie maps, I would say pretty much all of them, could not do, which is bring back a massive community of gaming onto the game. You had people like Tfue playing D Machine. The map was fun. The Easter egg was easy. It was a great callback to form. But Cold War never went anywhere good from this position, which is why, as much good as D Machine did, it just didn't go anywhere with it. It's like if they just released Black Ops 1 Keynote or Toten, this is what Cold War is. They just released Black Ops 1 Keynote or Toten, and then just released more Keynote or Totens after it. That's Cold War. Rather than in BO1, we went from Keynote or Toten to the frickin' moon, you know?
I would even say, for the wrong reasons. Because I feel like Treyarch didn't even expect Demine to be so popular.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Treyarch had no clue they were making a very popular map right here. I fully agree.
This map was epic because it was quick to make. The upgrades
Yes.
were fun, and leveling up in rounds had never been as friendly and top-notch as it was in the machine
Well, and this is the other thing I don't understand, right? In this map, they went back and made it so you could upgrade the dyes. It became an incredible wonder weapon. Why did they not do this back in Spaceland, bro? We needed more maps to have this map's preferential treatment for real.
at the start. You saw people doing 200, 300 rounds with the Ring of
Yeah.
Fire and the ray gun, which, by the
Yeah.
way, they had to lower the damage of the ray gun and also lower the amount of ammunition that the Trayer guys had, because you know they don't like having fun, right?
Well, and that's the other thing. They nerfed fun. The ray gun was the most OP at the time. D Machine, I still think, is the best Cold War map. I like Mauer, but when you look at the cultural significance between Mauer and D Machine, Mauer's just a good map, but D Machine actually brought people back. That's the main difference.
You have fun. They get upset. But it was crazy how epic it was to level up the rounds in D-Machine, Chater, something that I think had been lost a bit in the Zombies mode, Chater.
And honestly, watching all of these videos of rankings and of all these different people's maps, I am going to do one once the final BO7 zombie map comes out, because then we're going to have like a 2-year hiatus. And so I definitely will be talking about this. And the way I want to rank them is based off of replayability and also just like creativity and cultural impact. I feel like when a lot of people talk about these maps, they don't actually talk about what the map actually impacted the community with, you know?
That essence of just leveling up the rounds and that's it. I think the only thing it lacked was a final cinematic and a good battle. Because it
Yeah.
was really just defending a guy who can't really be killed. I mean,
That's true. That's true. The boss is bizarre.
it says to defend him, but the zombies don't hurt him. I
The
mean,
zombies
he
don't
can stay there
hurt.
forever and
He's chilling, dude. Shout out my boy Orlov.
nothing will happen. But it was a pretty good start for Cold.
Oh my god.
Later on, I feel that exciting start wasn't up to par. However, the machines will always be remembered as a great remake of Nash and Totem.
Yeah.
Well, I can't believe it, but we've already reached the top 20, and here we're going to put the initial map of Black Ops 6 Zombies, Terminum, which for many is
Terminum.
the best in the game, Vec.
Turbinum.
But I beg to differ. Don't get me wrong. Terminum is not a bad map. On the contrary, it is a great zombie map with quite high standards, with a complicated game. Well, Pottery, today,
Terminus is still probably one of my favorite modern zombie maps. I think when it comes to them releasing a modern zombies game, what I can tell is that the first map is always just the best map. And Blendell's even said this. It's the map that the developers get the most time to put a ton of time into, and that's why it's always a fun experience, like Ashes of the Damned, Terminus, D Machine, all great maps, right?
the Octopus T Patient 13 is not such a fearsome enemy, but at the time he was, and to think that we had an enemy that seemed like a total disaster in Black Ops 6 started the whole year of this game. It is
I will say Terminus is only good because it copies the DNA of Leviathan. Like, if you've played that BO3 custom map, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
true that today,
And I still think Leviathan is a better map than this, personally.
there are many strategies to finish him in seconds, either with the shotgun or with the explosive pistols. But at the time, this final battle really impressed us. The problem I have with Terminus is that it is a very large map, deep, but with areas that eggs are just water. And it's basically
Yeah, a lot of the map is just water. It's not very fun to traverse, especially because you have, like, the gas following you and all that. Doesn't really make you want to actually explore, which is something I think this map does not do well with. I agree.
let's say, what Transit had, East, right? They put an octopus here, a tentacle, to bother you and stop you from standing in the water all the time you want. I think, Dara, I mean, it's a map that's not that fun to play casually. That's the problem I have with Terminus. I don't
Yeah.
feel like getting into a game and taking out camouflages here. No. For that, we have another one that I'll mention a little later, May.
Well, and that's the thing, because like Liberty Falls was more played than this map, and that to me is a criminal error, because it goes to show like how this point zombies DNA and the community left completely changed. We are now filled with Warzone camo grinders, not people that actually like zombies for what it can provide. Zombies is essentially a camo grinding mode, as he's saying right here.
But by EASC standards, well, with a final battle,
And I don't think he's ranked Liberty Falls, and the fact that Liberty Falls is above this map and Spaceland is diabolical. That map is dog.
Terminus is a great map. Okay guys, now let's move on to number 19, and for this one we have to go to Black Ops 4 with Alpha Omega, a remake of Nuketown Zombies,
Throw it in the garbage, dog. Throw it in the garbage.
but now with an EASG, with the return of the Raygon, Mark 1, but with 4 elemental variants, with the Traffic Lawyer, but now as the final boss.
Like, I've tried giving this map a chance. I really have. Same thing with Paradox Junction, but again, as soon as I see Nuketown, my brain just turns off. I'm just like, dude, this is so lame. It doesn't matter what they do with the map. I don't care if they made drawings all over the maps that make people care about the story. It's just so lame, bro.
With Peter McCall from Shinonuman, a lot of story stuff.
Again, dude, this map caters to Mr. Raffle Waffles. They put in Peter McCain in this map solely for Mr. Raffle Waffles. You cannot change my mind on that, bro.
And honestly,
oh my gosh.
I think this map was really good, even though it was just a remake of Nukoni. It lived up to expectations, and I find
I don't think so. This to me marked the transitional point of Blundell leaving and the quality of zombie maps dropping from a cliff from this point. We went from ancient evil to this, bro.
it quite fun. Plus,
Nah.
the Rayon Mark II upgrades are optional. If you don't want to, right, you don't have to do one of these. What I love about Unareg is
this map is dog. I cannot believe people rate this map highly still in 2026. It's freaking unbelievable.
that the steps are chained together quickly, right? So that later you have to do very elaborate things. And I feel that Alpha Omega does a very, very good job of that. Now here comes a map that surprised me in an impressive way. And, mind you, it was heavily attacked before the release of Black Ops 6. We're talking about Liberty Falls.
Again, in no world is this map a top 20 map for your boy. Personally, this map is just dog, bro. That's just how it is, man.
The initial map, along with the terms of this game, was top for a simple reason. For casual play,
What the frick is bro holding as his weapon? Those are frickin' boxing gloves? What?
I think there's no more fun experience than Liberty Falls, at least in Black Ops 6. In addition
Pitiful.
to that, the map also has an Easter egg that doesn't have that much The steps aren't too long, but it's easy to do the E-Turg. It's fun to level up. We have the return of the Jedgon Bob, but now they've made it epic bot. It doesn't break anymore, and it helps you do round 100. Also, I love that you can even get the Jedgon for free through Direct Steps. It doesn't just appear in the box, and that's it.
It's crazy that Treyarch basically got a good map because they milked Transit's reputation with this map. They were like, yo, we'll just put the jet gun on here, but make it good. And everybody's like, oh yeah, bro, top 20 map. Same thing with freaking Ashes of the Dam. They're like, yo, we'll just redo Transit, but make it so that you can drive. And everybody's like, oh yeah, top 20 map. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how milking Transit's reputation on a very basic level has created some of the best zombie maps for a lot of people. That's so mind-boggling to me.
I think they did it in an epic way. Whenever weapons come out in Black Ops 6, this is where I get the dark matter. In fact, most of the dark matter I got from weapons at the beginning was playing Liberty Falls in guided mode.
And see, this is the thing. He's a camo grinder. This is why Liberty Falls is up here. For me personally, this is sacrilegious. Like, this is the DNA of zombies now, you know?
Example. Okay, friends, let's move on to the ugly duckling of Black Ops 3, and that's Setsumoshima. In 7
Oh, man. I'm at least glad it's a top 20 map. I think this map is not the worst BO3 map. The worst BO3 map is now Revelations for me. But Zetsubo is still just such a great map, bro. It got dogged on release by myself, rightfully so, because the map was released in such a poor state. But today, with what we have, this is still an exceptional BO3 experience. A map experience that, honestly, I don't think we'll ever get again.
17th place, I had to put this map, whose only crime was being surrounded by masterpieces.
Very true.
Setsu
Very true. It's very tough to compete with Zetsubo. Like, if Zetsubo's on any other game, people are loving this map. You know what I mean? It's literally just because it's against DE, Shadows, GK. Tough scenes.
Oshima, unfortunately, doesn't live up to all the other maps in Black Ops 3, but it's still a great, solid experience.
Zetsubo is
The problem
so
is that
fun.
LK is very much about having to play around with the mechanics of watering plants. If you forget in a round, too bad, you've ruined the plant. That's it. And you have to start over. So that can sometimes get
watering plants, having random gobblegums as the Easter egg with anywhere but here. Very weird decisions, I think, as well, that definitely influence this map very poorly. But I still think this map holds up today. Very much so.
a bit tiring, especially if you don't master the map 100%. If you master it in
Again, this is one of those maps where you have to know every single little thing about it, and I get it, why people don't necessarily like maps like this and Dead of the Night, for example. That's another one of those maps, but an exceptional map if you take the time to learn it.
an hour, max, you'll have Elg ready. But despite that, P The map has some very epic things, like the ability to turn into a spider. The final battle itself seems disappointing to me, it must be said, because all Tackle does is wave his arms and summon Trashers, and that's it. That is
The boss is cheek, so that's true.
The battle is to eliminate Trashers, and then you can hurt me with a shot from the Masamune. By the way,
Yeah.
the Masamune is pretty good as it's solid as a special weapon, although I have a hard time using it for high rounds. That's it, but I think it's a weapon that does the trick. But for the casual
It's the upgraded Sliquifier, man. It's fun. I think it's better than the Sliquifier in terms of its multifaceted usages, like running faster when you shoot a spore, fertilizing plants. Like, it works perfectly for this map and this map only.
player, Setsunoshima doesn't have an easy strategy to advance in rounds, nor a comfortable area to hold on.
Yeah. Well, this area, the Skull of Monsopway, it's a difficult map just because of the Thrashers, but it's still fun.
So that's why I think it's also affected, but I personally like it, but I'm not going to say that it's one of the best in Black Ops 3. Now, here comes a map that I'm sure a lot of people are going to tell me, how did you even think of putting it so high? But for me, Frozen Dawn, or the Frozen Dawn...
Yeah. Nah, this is a World War II zombies lover, bro. This is like me watching CJ Santa's video. For me, like I said, World War II zombies is below everything. Like, Spaceland below Frozen Dawn. I don't think I've ever seen that. That's crazy.
of the zombies from World War II
Wow.
deserves a lot of recognition. We're talking about the fact that this map has one of the most epic final battles in history, which, yes, nowadays is done through a very easy glitch. But the map design, its special weapons, BOE case, and how to get each of them are very top-notch. It's quite an adventure, quite an odyssey. In fact, I'll leave a video in the description where I do the Hissen solo, and believe me, the adrenaline is pumping from start to finish on this map.
Yeah, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
We even have a shield as a special weapon before Wenger did it. A weapon that teleports Bakethea, which is brutal, and even a mallet that's like Thor's hammer. Then we face off against the Godkin.
I kind of wish this was like the second DLC of World War II. I think if we ramped from here to something even greater, World War II could have been much better received.
Little, who is this abomination, on the level of Mephistopheles F. Little. But the thing is that nowadays, there's a trick to kill him really quickly, and then you skip all the phases of the battle. This boss fight actually makes you need to use each of the special weapons right, which is why they put them in the arena available there. At one point, he throws a fire attack at you, Weng, and if you don't teleport with that weapon I told you about, Fo Weng, you're going to die. This map is very well planned. Indeed, huh?
It's just, I don't know. I think the look of this map is kind of bland too, as well. The wonder weapons, sure, while there were 4 and they are unique, it's just, dude, this also came out at such a bad point after Tortured Path, which was like the worst received DLC ever at that point. So a lot of people, including myself, like barely gave this map the time of day.
It's the typical one that I'm sure if Chark had made it, it would be listed as a great map.
That is true. I can agree with that.
Not one of the best, but it would be much higher and more loved by the fans.
That's
Well,
true.
friends, I'm going to appear as a shameless Black Ops 6 fanboy, but in the number 15 spot is the Rickfin Mansion, that is, the Shadwell map.
I'm gonna say it. I'm a Shattered Veil non-enjoyer. I don't think I'm a hater, but I don't see why the community loves this map so much. Sure, the boss fight is cool with the T-Rex, but like the egg is kind of boring to me. The map layout is just like a worse version of Dead of the Night. I don't understand why people like this map, personally.
In this one, we see the return of the Raygon 2Y, the Wonder Wolf, and a final battle against a zombified T-Rex.
Like, this cutscene was cool, the boss fight was cool, but like the map itself, the gameplay, the wonder weapons, very mid.
The strangest thing you can imagine, the craziest thing, and I love it. I love that the zombie story is going to take the most exaggerated directions and that no one expects it. Now, what I also liked is that they returned the Mark II with elemental variants, and they are new. They didn't recycle them from the ones that were already in Alpha Omega. Good job, Treyer. In other words, you could say that we have 7 variants of the Room Mark II today, each with quite unique abilities. In addition to the fact that...
Well, the shotgun is the same one, but also, like, a lot of these Mark II variants, like, they had such a good opportunity to make them way, way, way better than Alpha Omega, but they're just sort of mid as well in this map, too. So the only thing that saves this map, I think, is the WAF being very powerful. But again, they had to add the WAF. It's like Paradox, where they had to throw in the Blundergat to give it some spice. But like, it just feels so lackluster.
Enemies like the Disciple, the Amalgam Doppelgas appear here, which, well, it already seems like they will be the trademark of all of Black Ops 6, and Richtofen even helps us during the final battle. He is supposed to be shooting the T-Rex, but he doesn't fire a single shot. Every now and then, he even gives you a self-revive if you need it in solo. See, I really didn't have any expectations for this map, just a mansion, but I think it met expectations. I like the map design, I like the EG, I like to level up here, I love the Easter egg steps, and in this game, it's true that the X secondaries play a very important role, and I think there were some pretty good ones in the mansion. Well, hey guys,
honestly, I hate to say this, and this might sound offensive, frick yeah, I don't care. To me, this map is just like another tomb. I hate to say it, but it feels so similar. It's just another map.
Let's keep moving forward because now in 14th place, I'm going to put the Reckoning map, Aya. The most recent one we've had so far in Zombies mode, and the fact that it's so high up, I think it makes me excited for the future, right? For what
Wow. Again, another map where I feel the exact same way. Like Tomb, Shattered Veil, and Reckoning for me were some of the most dog water maps back to back, and it killed Black Ops 6 for me personally. Black Ops 6 started so strong. After Citadel, all these maps to me are incredibly mid, especially because half of them just take place in the same place as Liberty Falls.
may come. I love this map because it's done so smoothly. And let's see, there's one thing that needs to be said. I don't love the verticality that came back after Die, but at least it's a bit more comfortable here. There are
I think it's insane that he put Die Rise so low, but Reckoning number 16. That's crazy.
portals, there are elevators, but they can be activated all at once. You don't have to wait for hours and hours, and it's done so quickly, so smoothly. The Panzer returns, but more fearsome than ever, which I applaud. We have a battle against the Forgotten One that we had caught in Kolwa, but here we really beat him up and turned him into a special weapon that, man.
I don't understand why Klaus is back in this map, but then he's also back again in Ashes of the Damned. Like, oh my gosh, get rid of Klaus. He was good in Mauer or Toten. Leave him be, bro.
Well, at least currently the special weapon on this map is quite weak. Quite disappointing. I don't know if they'll update it in
No, the Wonder Weapon's dog.
the future. Why? It's possible.
Dog.
Why not? There's still a season left in
People go back to this map for the boss. That's it.
Black Ops 6, but for now the weapon isn't up to par. You have to use other options for the final battles. Because if on this map, Treyarch took off his hat and surprised us. 2 final battles depending on the path you choose, either helping Samadar or Richtofen. You face
Which is a cool concept, but like the Wonder Weapon is trash. You have to play in a very specific way to take out Richtofen, but Samantha is like infinitely easier. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. This map is tough.
off against either an orb, an artificial intelligence, an AI, or Richtofen himself, first in a panzer suit and then flying with a jetpack. Ladies and gentlemen, if it weren't for the gum and the field upgrades, this Richtofen battle would be one of the most complicated. Woods.
I agree. If there was no gum or Ether Shroud, how would you do this boss fight, literally?
But it barely comes in below Mephistopheles. Well, it's still very difficult. I think it easily makes it into a top 5 or 10.
Yeah. It's the hardest Treyarch boss fight for sure.
Because Richtofen attacks you with the Wonderwolf itself, meaning he kills you with 2 shots from that special weapon, and he doesn't care that you have armor. He takes all your health down in no time anyway. In addition to there being a ton of zombies, he summons his explosive drones, while Sam's battle is a bit more friendly, so to speak. She's not as aggressive anymore, and during the battle, she even gives you a perk if you complete one of her challenges. I mean, she's even cool. But I was surprised by the fact that they put 2 final battles. I really liked it.
I just realized he is not ranked Shaolin Shuffle. I also read a comment under here saying that he's going to be having a sequel to this once all the BO7 maps come out. So I'm going to be curious because I'd like to watch his list again and compare it to mine once I make all of my ranking as well.
In 13th place is the best map in Black Ops 6 Zombies Ace, and it's Citadel of Mort, the castle map with 4 elemental swords and
I'm glad someone at least puts recognition on this map. I feel like a lot of people like this map at launch, but then it just fell off for some reason. I don't know. Still one of my favorite maps. Do I think it's S tier? No. I think it's up there, though. It's still a very fun map, but yeah, I don't know. I do prefer Terminus, I think, over this map now.
a final battle against a Guardian that looks like it came straight out of God of War.
True. The boss fight, though, is sick. The swords are fun, even though they're kind of trash still.
That's what I'm telling you. This game let your imagination run wild with the battles. So that's why I love it. I enjoy it so much. Now, the swords, let's clarify one thing. They're not the best weapons in history, but the Lion Sword is very, very good.
Yeah,
it has the ability to heal your armor, which you know is essential in this game to have armor. So every time you have maximum ammo, every time you kill a certain amount of zombies, you'll be able to activate this special ability with your sword. And I love the steps, since they involve using
the boss fight they made very difficult. Before, like, you used to just be able to bring a power drill in and just rinse him. But now he's actually kind of tough.
each of these swords with their special grenades, with their enchantments. It's been a long time since Treyarch released a map of this level, and I think the DLC phase started off very well and ended perfectly with the Reconning map. Black Ops...
I don't know. I definitely disagree with that personally. I think Citadel was a great start to the DLC, but then Tomb, Shattered, Reckoning, nah.
Zombies has been a game that has been unnecessarily criticized, attacked, I think in an exaggerated way, when in reality we have great maps from start to finish, right? So Citadel is...
I don't agree with that, man. I genuinely, like, especially because he's put a lot of these maps even over, like, Spaceland and stuff. That's crazy.
Placed in 13th position, 18, but listen, guys, there are some maps that are just so incredibly epic. They demanded a higher ranking, and that's why Ancient Evil snags the 12th spot.
I would put it higher, but I'm at least glad to see it near top 10 for
We
sure.
are in the ancient city of Delphi, on a map with 4 elemental gauntlets of light, wind,
Yeah.
darkness, and, well, one that is blood.
I think this is the most underrated BO4 map. I think so many people did not give this map a good enough try. It is truly a masterpiece on the game, for sure. This and 9 are the two best BO4 maps.
Bone, that's not an element, but X. A wonderful design, great steps in a battle, first against Pegasus, and then against Perseus, the
Yeah.
son of Zeus, but zombified. This gives you a glimpse of what the story of Chaos promised.
And the boss fight, like, dude, what a sick arena, bro.
Nia, the scenarios it would take us to, because they could have the creative freedom for that. Our characters could travel to any place you could think of. The problem with Ancien Evil is that it came out at a time when the Chaos story was already doomed, and
Yeah.
unfortunately the interest it attracted was too late, there was nothing left to do, and we were never able to have a worthy continuation of the Chaos story.
Again, it's one of those situations where you wish this map would have came out as like a DLC 1, and then they just kept building off this, you know?
Yes, we were in Black Ops 6 with the return of the Sentinel artifact, but it wasn't the same. Classic characters like Scarlet, Diego Ao, Schwalyu, and Bruno didn't return.
Yeah.
I'm a little sorry to have left it out of the top 10, but my beloved Bury It from Black Ops 2, for me, the best.
I'm so glad Buried is getting more recognition, because I think when this map first dropped, people liked it, but they didn't think it was one of the best maps ever. It really is. Buried is so goated because Vonderhaar created this map, and that is why he understood what zombie players like so much, and this map is incredible.
Map of the victims and a great farewell for
Great
Jimmy
map.
Solinsky as director of the Zombies mode is a gem, truly. Bury It, what makes it so epic? It's the creativity behind this experience. It's having a lot of buildables so that you can play the map however you please. If you want to camp next to Jouer with a resonator that kills zombies and a turbine, go ahead. You want to start increasing rounds with the Paralyzer? Go E, which is the special weapon. Go E,
Yeah.
and the Vulture perk while camping? Go E, perfect. And in your adventure you have the great help of the Giant Royal, who has a lot of abilities. This guy is a magician.
Leroy is still the greatest companion of all time. It is so shocking to me that they have never beat him as a companion. Like, Klaus is a joke comparatively to what Leroy can do on this map.
Literally. He can change a buff to something else completely random. He can change a Carpenter to a Max Ammo. If you're lucky,
Yeah.
he can take care of the last zombie dragged so that you don't have problems by doing a hysteric step, and also obviously helps you break down all the barriers on the map. In addition to that, Bury It has two different ones if you help Richtofen or Maxis. Like Raised Transity, yes, but here I think it's much more.
Like, it's insane that they were able to do this all in 2013, bro. Like, wow. To think if we had this version of Treyarch still making zombie maps, what would zombies be 13 years later now in 2026? Like, it's insane that we're in 2026 and we've evolved backwards in a lot of ways since this point.
More complex. Here the steps are a bit more interesting. Now, it's true that the final step of target shooting causes a lot of annoyance to players.
Freaking
Of course,
though.
if you've been
Great
stuck in that step for an hour or two, you probably won't like Barrier, and you'll be upset for having failed there. I feel
skill diff, bro.
like this map is underrated because sometimes it's thought to be extremely easy with the fact that Mark II can be played by all players.
Yeah.
And it's also very easy for you to get it here. But if you fail the EASG, you end up getting angry with the map, which, in my case, well, we did fight a few times, but when we did, it was one of the greatest satisfactions I've had playing COD Zombies. And
Dude, that's what I mean. Like, it's difficult, it's annoying, but when you fully come to the conclusion of beating it, it's such a goated feeling. Like, nothing feels as satisfying as completing that buried Easter egg, you know?
I feel like it can't be ranked much lower.
Yeah.
Ed is a
Buried
map
is
that has
goated.
things that make it so unique, like the tiles, the maze that changes every time you enter it.
Yeah.
Also the time bombs that allow you to go back to any round in which you've thrown one as a kind of life insurance, right? If things get really
funny on
chaotic.
public matches,
Although it can
too.
also be used to get trolled. It's
Yeah.
true, if you're playing with random A, if someone plants that time bomb in round 2, imagine if you're in round 30 and it comes back. That's going to make you really angry. But it has mechanics like that and like the Giant that I feel we'll never see again, and that's why this map is so epic to me. But now, guys, here come the bombs. In the ranking I did 6 years ago, there's no way I would have put the maps you're going to see next at the top. But my opinion has changed a lot, because
Let's
by
see
doing the
it.
main mission of a map so many times, you get fond of it, and when you learn it well, you realize what a masterpiece they are.
Top 10 maps, baby. Let's
Place
see
number
it.
10 goes to the classic Roman Coliseum map from Black Ops 4 Zombies.
9.
I remember the first time we
Yes,
saw it in the
sir.
trailer. We thought it was going to be like a survival map with no stereo or anything. We were very wrong. We have a complex Easter egg like
Yeah, we thought this was going to be a melee only one map, which is freaking insane. Thank God it wasn't. Granted, though, the wonder weapon of this map needed to be buffed.
any of the Black Ops 4 maps, a final battle against an elephant, and then against another elephant that is more hacked. This battle caught us all completely off guard. Nobody expected this. It's like what happens in the Black Ops 6 maps. Unexpected battles. That's what the story of Chaos is all about. That's why it's so epic, so mysterious, magical. So magical. The only weak point in 9 would be the special weapon, the Scorpion,
Yeah.
Huamda, which, unless you do the trick to shoot faster, hey, I think it's quite weak. But what can I say?
It is very weak. Also, like, we don't get ambience like this in a map, bro. Like, this is a completely unique ambience and vibe with like the story of BO4 all intertangled, and it works. It works with the perk system. The reason why I always put 9 above Ancient Evil as well is because the map is literally based around the perk system. Like, this is the only map to me that makes sense that you have only 4 perks, because the perk pedestals are literally parts of the areas of the map, right? It's insane. It's
Today,
insane.
I would say that a masterpiece of zombie mode is map 9. And now here comes
Yeah.
a surprise. Because many years ago, I took it upon myself to criticize it, saying that it was one of the worst maps. But I was very wrong. Number 9 goes to Hellish Voyage or Titanic. And do you know why I did?
That's crazy. I think personally, I do think Voyage has aged a lot better. My only issue with Voyage is that it doesn't fulfill all the ideas that 9 did so well with BO4. And I remember loading into Voyage and being like, why are the 9 perk machines here? You know, none of that made any sense to me, you know?
It? Because I was a terrible Titanic player? Because I didn't know how to do Elig? I was afraid of the steps. Once you master this map, you'll realize what a great map you have in front of you.
It is a fun map. Like, the egg is very difficult, but the boss is very challenging and fun. My only issue is, again, like, it just doesn't warrant its existence like 9 does.
How much work was put into it regarding the mysteries,
Yeah.
references to the original Titanic, and the E-Turg itself.
That's true. I mean, Treyarch probably put this is probably one of the heaviest amounts of work that Treyarch ever did on a zombies map, and it's sad that it just went fully unappreciated because they were too focused on recreating the Titanic rather than actually making an incredible zombies map, which I think ultimately ended up with this map being so overshadowed, especially with 3 other maps on release.
In fact, this was the map that had the most secondary content until Black Ops 6 came out, when they
Which is insane. Insane, bro.
really focused on that, not on adding much more extra content. The flow of Titanic is so cool that, for example, at first I would have thought that this map would always take you 2 hours to complete, right? Nowadays I can complete it in an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And without practicing speedrun or anything, without knowing strategy. Once you master it,
BO4 definitely made zombie players lock in and become a lot better than they were in BO3 for sure.
you understand how epic it is and why there are steps like the one to the planets that, well, the step is a nightmare, yes. But once you master it, and you know the locations or have them written down, it's very fast. And this
Yeah, it goes by fast, but ultimately, again, it doesn't warrant its existence. Why are we doing a planet step in this map? It just, again, we do not know.
concludes with a battle against the very Eye of Odin, which, well, first 2 phases seem to just be watching you, but then you can attack it directly. Of course, if you don't take this in,
I do appreciate that someone has it in the top 10 because I know, like, when Blundell did his Blundellathon, he was talking about how much love they put into this map and how it was kind of sad to see the reception of this map. And I definitely do understand that, but I don't think that players were wrong in their initial judgment of this map. I still think to this day that this is very underrated zombies map, but ultimately just not warranting its existence. It didn't ever make sense to have the Titanic in BO4, period.
interest with the Helion, except with the bazooka, you're going to suffer a lot. It's a 100% zombie test.
Yeah.
I chose to place this map in the top 10 because of the amount of care that was put into it during development.
Exactly. And you know what? That's fair. That's fair. I'll let that slide.
Trying to take care of those elements of the emblematic areas of the Titanic, the cabins, the grand staircase, even the boilers.
I will say this was one of the most confusing maps I ever learned to play because when I first started playing this map, I remember being so lost because everything looked the exact same. It was so
All of these
tough.
themes were introduced here to tell us a zombie-themed narrative that turned out much better than we expected. And don't be scared when you play it at first, because it's going to be hard to understand, for example, where the box went when you move it, or where such and such a place is. Getting to the point
Well, and that's the other thing. The box locations being so difficult to figure out on this map. So much of the Easter egg being about map knowledge as well. This was a very confusing map, and I get why a lot of casual players did not like this map.
where you learn it well will take you a few games.
But BO4 is just not a casual zombie player game in general.
But once you do, you'll understand why this map is a masterpiece of zombies mode. 2021 Gaming would never have thought that they would grow so fond of the next map that I have in position number 8, which is the remake of Moss Dead, known as Blood of the Dead.
Yeah.
It's a great map.
No, it is crazy how a lot of people are going back and enjoying BO4 because of how BO6 and 7 and Cold War just don't feel like this anymore, you know? And it is kind of true that, like, this is the final zombie maps of the original Treyarch dev studio. Like, after Ancient Evil, that's it. Zombies is not really made by Treyarch anymore.
But it's not friendly for everyone, because it's true that we rely too much on the Spectral Shield, which is the new Afterlife
Yeah.
mode that they introduced here.
I think the shield needed to be reworked for sure. This is one of the most annoying aspects of this map. It's way too heavily relied on with the whole egg.
And since the challenges are so complicated, for example,
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do a couple of steps, and I
The Magma Gat is sick. It just, everything else on this map was just not it.
always had to find friends to help me. What does that do? You end up hating the map because you know that you can't get through it on your own and that you
Yeah.
depend on someone and you get lazy ma. You don't want to learn the steps, babe, but once you master it, baby,
Yeah.
you'll realize that it's also a great map. What I don't like about Blood is that I feel like they didn't bother too much with the secondary deck. No, they didn't want to put in too many big things, but instead improve the Magma Gat in any case, the Tomahawk that no one improves, the Tomahawk in blue, and the Golden Spoon.
Yeah, the Tomahawk is just not worth getting because you spawn in with something better than the Tomahawk, which is crazy.
I feel like it lacked a little more content. And something that a truck developer commented on Twitter is that Blood allowed them to expand the pressure of Alcatraz, something that wasn't possible at the time with the
Yeah.
limitations of the 2013 consoles. And this, of course, is reflected in the type of EST we have now, which is quite dense, very difficult, and nothing like how friendly dead mobs can be. Now you'll say, so why doesn't it seem like Mob hasn't made the list yet? Why is it higher than this one? See, Mobos and Deadmarks separate before and after. I'll mention that a little bit later on. Well, this ranking is finally coming to an end because there are already too many positions. Let's go to number 7 with Revelations.
Wow. Highest ranking I've ever seen of Revelations for sure. Holy. I don't think Revelations is this good. I think it is easily the worst BL3 map, and it's funnily enough because this is the one that the community wanted the most at the time. When, again, this could have also been the Great War map.
The final map in the
So,
Black Ops 3 story, not counting
tough.
Zombies Chronicles, introduced the Thundergon and the Coopodicon on the same map, and you could also carry both at the same time, which is totally crazy. But that's why Revelation is so fun to play in a chill way, to play a few rounds.
Well, the whole game really led up to this moment, especially with the Apothicon Servant. People were trying to find the upgraded on it on Shadows. Again, this is another one of those moments where I wish Treyarch just made it so that you could go back on Shadows and upgrade the Apothicon. But if they did do that, nobody would want to go and play Revelations. That's why I think this map is the worst, because the only thing that's really carrying it is the community idea of all the maps being remastered and the Apothicon Servant upgrades.
You have the strategy you want. Or you play aggressive, Camp Cull, go around in the area, for example, of Kino Toten, and the IS Rex is done so fast and so connected that it seems crazy to me. They are very user-friendly steps, yes, if you have the special weapon, Pluppin, right? Because if not, you're gonna suffer a lot. The only bad thing is that you have to depend on the box to get the lilies and the loot, but the Hizg involves improving it, wrote something that wasn't possible in Shadows of Evil, and here they finally included it. And then it ends with Shadow Man's final battle, which, let's say, this is the aspect that really disappointed me, I have to say. I don't like
Yeah, the final boss of this map is absolutely atrocious. Like, I really would have wanted to know what the original design and plan was, especially with this boss fight arena. Like, what was the original boss here?
Shadow Man doesn't attack you directly, Maydite, but instead just stands there like a fool and summons enemies for you. Although, let's see. I can understand that it's because he's the ultimate boss, right? He's not going to bother fighting them more, but the final battle could have been much more epic.
I agree.
This is the weak point that I see in Revelation. I love everything else. Plus, I want to add that you can get masks that give you special abilities and permaxes.
Yeah.
I always do Shadow Man's mask live these days because it's too broken. It makes you do 33% more damage to enemies and take 33% less damage.
No, the only appeal to this map really was just how overpowered you could be, right? Which was great at the time, but I think just coming back to this map, it's not that fun to replay. Whereas, like, I'd rather just replay a unique experience like Zetsubo more than this.
Key, which means you can withstand like 10 more hits from normal zombies. But obviously it's a reward that takes a long time to get in Key, and A, especially if you're going to do a very high round D Key, it can be very useful. The number 6 spot goes to the most underrated map in Call of Duty Zombies history, and it's D of the Night. The Vampire Mansion from the Black Ops 4.
I'm glad people understand how good this map is. Honestly, I think I'm going to rate this map much more higher in my own ranking because it's an incredible map. It's one of those maps like Zetsubo, yes, where you have to learn to master it, but it is a phenomenal map, and it really was destroyed by the way Activision marketed this map.
Or Mayhem Story needs to get more recognition. I feel like we as a community undervalue it. Us, but casual players don't even look at this awesome map.
It's just we as a community didn't have the chance to even value this map as a whole because for most people it just released. There was no trailer. It just came out, you know?
Do you know?
Like, could you imagine if Origins just came out and didn't have any of the trailer buildup or anything that it, you know, it would not have been as well received.
What this mansion's only crime was? Not having the PMX. If they had been the main characters on this map, it would be one of the most beloved in history.
I do kind of agree with that. And I remember when this game first came out and people were just thinking, why don't they just make this a premise map or like an Ultimus map? It's so true.
We're talking about not only zombies, but vampires, werewolves,
Yeah.
IZs that involve ghosts too. I mean, they kind of play with that whole theme of the Haunted Mansion, werewolves. Even a vampire appears, which is the special Nosferatu, who makes an animation where he gives you a kiss to make you want to suck your blood. Crazy. We have Alistair's
Crazy.
Annihilator, which is upgraded twice in total, not with the Pack-a-Punch Bite P, but with Derek's steps, and each upgrade makes it more
I consider the Alistair's Annihilator like the Chaos storyline's ray gun, and it's incredible. It's literally one of the best wonder weapons in all of Chaos, if not the best.
epic. In the end, it has special attacks that make zombies go to the ground, disappear, make them levitate, burn them.
Like, this map should have been the Mob of the Dead of this game. It should have been the big deal of this game. It's just the way it all ended up being executed was what destroyed this map's reputation, which is really sad.
This special weapon is outrageous, one of the best we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I would say that what I love about this house, which is actually Scarlett's father's mansion, is that the steps are too epic. A balance between difficulty and fun.
Yeah. It's a very hardcore map, though. Like, this is not a casual map at all.
And years later, mysteries have even been discovered that were still unsolved on this map, such as the Stygies, to get all the perks without infinite ammo forever with a brutal weapon. If you want to see that, I'll leave that video in the description. That is, let's say, the truly impossible one from Of the Night. Now, hey guys, let's go to number 5. Dara
Top 5.
Sendra, the
I don't think he rated Shaolin. I think he might have forgotten about that. But unless it's top 5, which there's no way. But Horizon number 5, that's fair. Honestly, I hate to say this, even though everybody loves Horizon, for me, this map ages slightly poor to me by the day because I think I've just overplayed it too much. And it's nothing about the map itself. Like, I was one of the first people in the whole world to ever play this map. It's just, I've played it too much.
Castle map
That's
from
really
Black
what
Ops
it
3
is.
takes this spot. The elemental bows are simply amazing, a delight of special weapons.
Yeah.
Doing all 4 bows in solo gives you an adrenaline rush that I recommend you do. Seriously, it's not the same to go all out on Ryan with just the electric bow than doing all 4 just for fun, not out of obligation. And of course, the electric bow is the one that's really good. Really. On this map, we had this Panzer variant for the first time, Shady, which no longer uses the spear to pull you away, but now throws a kind of tomahawk that if you touch it, electrocutes you and makes you vulnerable to being eliminated. And the final battle was one of the first impactful ones we had against this giant keeper who, well...
Like, the cultural significance of this map will never be denounced. Like, it'll always hold up as one of the best maps ever. It's just personally for me, I've played it way too much. I'm good, dog.
The keeper himself is actually kind of dumb because he does the same thing as Shaman, right? He summons enemies so that they do the dirty work. But hey, at least he does an attack that can annihilate you, a Ty. The one where if you don't plant the Ragnaroks down on him, Ty, he'll destroy the entire arena in GG. I've been lucky enough to complete this Dryan one on its Xbox 360 version, which is completely different and much more difficult, and I recommend it. A great map, obviously, from the history of the mode, and the only thing I have to say is that I brought them as such. They're very basic steps, but it's understandable because the focus is on the elemental arcs. Well guys, the time has come to talk about a map that marked a before and after in the history of our beloved mode, and of course, in 4th place is Mob of the Dead. Gaming. How did you even think of putting a map as basic as Mob? The path the mode was taking up to that point was quite dangerous, huh?
Again, it's so weird how people rewrite history and they're like trying to say that this map wasn't as culturally significant. And like, there's a lot of people in the community I say that like Blood better. Regardless if you like Blood better or not, you cannot deny that Mob of the Dead changed zombies forever. If this map did not release, zombies would be dead by now, bro. Especially if Jimmy Zielinski was still pioneering it. And that's no hate to him, but it just goes to show how zombies needed this DNA switch up at this point in time so desperately. And this map was such a success that it is the reason I even have a YouTube channel today, right?
Because we were coming from Die Rise, which was a pretty bad map. But Mob changed all the rules of the game with different mechanics. The introduction of the Blundergut with its improvement of the Sidgat, the Tomahawk, taking risks, introducing the new Afterlife mechanic, and removing the Quick Revive perk.
And I think it really goes to show why zombies should be created by a campaign team, is this map. When you get campaign-styled zombie maps, you get experiences like Mob of the Dead and Origins. This is what you want.
Which could have been somewhat terrifying for players. But at that time, specifically in Dead Mobs, the theme of being trapped in a cycle worked and was later used as the main theme of Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
In other words, it was the origin of that story that we loved so much during Black Ops 3.
Literally, this map created the DNA of BO3 to BO4. And it's funny because it started with Mob of the Dead for a lot of people, and it literally ended with Blood of the Dead for a lot of people as well. crazy.
Thinking at some point that we were going to be killing zombies in the mythical Alcatraz prison was amazing. Of course, for the year that Mob came out, it was very limited by the 360 and the PlayStation 3, and that's why there were things that couldn't be added, like the
But even then, though, I didn't even think of the limitations when it came to this map. This map was able to add so much for what it was, just being an Xbox 360 game. Like, it's crazy.
extra parts, and surely there were going to be more deck steps, but everything happens for a reason. I feel like it was good that it was that way. Since then, years later, we had the other version of Loros dead. The thing is that Mob Die, let's say that since it is a more basic map, it is more comfortable to play with the
And I think this map really goes to show how, even though this is the easiest Easter egg of all time, Mob of the Dead was much more enjoyed than Blood of the Dead being the hardest Easter egg of all time, right?
afterlife. Much more fun than having to bother with the shield-absorbing zombies all the time. In the number 3 position, I'm going to put Shadows of Evil.
Yes, sir.
For me, the
2 maps above Shadows. I'm curious what this is going to be. Origins and then Shaolin? No way, bro.
best initial map in the history of any Call of Duty. Mork City is a city with an aura. This map, once you learn it and lose your fear of it, you'll realize that it flows quite well. The gameplay
Truly, I don't think we will ever get a map like this ever again. I don't even think it matters how hard Treyarch cooks with BO7 or whatever game. Like, this map was a testament of old Treyarch's perfection when it came to artistic execution. Like I've said before, they had a whole roller coaster sponsored for this zombies map. We are never getting to that height again, bro.
is fun, since you have quite OP tools like the Apotacon Stag Ironger, which is the best special weapon in history, the Apotacon Sword, the Little Earnings Kasor, the Little Earnings, you have Traps, Civil Protector, and he is very friendly, Ironger. These are steps that are completed relatively quickly. In any case, what I find most difficult when I do this Dragon with just a mod on PC is the step of seeing the symbols on the train which is nothing special, and after that we end up with a
Well, and again, the speedrunning evolution with this map, same thing with Origins, like, it's insane that a map that came out 10 years ago is still evolving today. That is, like, unheard of with a piece of video gaming content ever.
battle against Shadowman, the first time we encounter this villain. But what I also like is the conflict that is told. The narrative of Shadows of Evil tells us about a battle between keepers and Apotacones, but on a very small scale, not like a great war. So we, the players, are deceived by Shadowman and end up opening a portal for the Apotacones to this universe, and then, let's say, by choosing to help the keepers correct our mistake and defeat Shadowman.
It's a very interesting story because you think you're doing the right thing when in fact you are the evil of the map. You are the shadow of the evil, right?
To think that this was the
Genius. It was genius, bro.
beginning of the great era of Black Ops 3 DLCs
Yeah.
is something you really mean. Shadow of could have easily been a DLC map.
I think when it comes down to like the best maps ever released on disc, so like Kino, Transit, Shadows, D Machine, stuff like that, Shadows is the best, like without a doubt.
For those who know me, the second position will not come as a surprise, and I give it to Goro Krobi. The Stalingrad map with drag.
My boy GK almost forgot. Yo, some GK love and recognition. And again, this kind of goes to what I'm saying about I still think GK is actually the #1 best map still to this day. I believe it because this was at a point of the zombies community. Let me describe it to you. Z House just popped off. I had a video of people's reactions to the PPSH coming into this map that hit 1 million views. That can never happen in Call of Duty nowadays. The peak hype for Revelations, the boss fight, this map marked the penultimate peak of Call of Duty Zombies as a whole. Culturally, you cannot get better than Garad Krovi. I don't even care about Origins because, like, at Origins, like, a lot of people even fell off from BO2 at that point because they didn't like Transit or Die Rise. Sure, they liked Mob, but like, it, you know, Origins kind of fell off. But Garad from Shadows just kept going up and up and up and up and up. And then Revelations is kind of when it started going downhill, right? But GK, still to this day, 2016 peak days, peak life. It doesn't get better than this, bro.
With Nikolai in a mech suit.
Doesn't matter that the Mark IIIs aren't that great or whatever. This was peak zombies.
In a robot that makes no sense. It's one of the best experiences we've ever had in history.
I agree.
This map came out the year it should have been, which was when Game of Thrones was all the rage, because otherwise we wouldn't have had those dragons flying around the map.
That's actually crazy. I never even thought about that, but I mean, it is kind of true. Why did Blundell add dragons into a Stalingrad type of map, bro.
or that mini dragon that you can hatch and use as a specialist weapon. Here we also had the return of the Regan Engun, but now in its Mark III version, Engun, which some people
Yeah.
don't know, Engun, but yes, this is the Regan Mark III. E-Turk's steps are some of the most complicated we've had today, and luckily I recently released a guide with updated steps to bring you tricks and make your life a lot easier. I think very few video games give you that excitement you get from completing Goro Krobi solo. Plus,
Yes.
doing it without gum, forget about it.
Yes, this is still one of the most exhilarating boss fights in Zombies, probably next to like Mephistopheles, maybe Richtofen on Reckoning, but it doesn't get better than this, bro.
The Regan Mark III stops being epic after round 45-50, boy, meaning that most players will be able to use it normally, at least. We also have the dragon attack, and we can even upgrade that attack on this map. We can upgrade the bomb monkeys for the first time ever, and the ending is a great final cinematic. And another thing I didn't mention, the intro to the map is absolutely crazy. It looks like a movie.
Yeah.
And here they already showed what the developers were willing to do with the zombie story.
Again, another example of peak intro cutscene gets the players hyped for the map. Like, this was at a time when I did not even think in a remote second that modern zombies could have ended up being what it is today. Like, I thought we were just going up and up and up from this point. Little did I know how wrong I really was, bro. And a lot of the times I literally wish I could go back in time and tell myself at this point, this is the peak, bro. Enjoy it and move on from here. It's never getting better than this, man.
Gonna push it to the limit. Wah, to the max. But hey guys, I don't mind being cliched. I don't mind stating the obvious. The best zombie map in history is Origins.
Bro, what the frick happened to Shaolin Shuffle is my question. That man forgot that map. But bro, what is that? He's got the ice staff puzzle on the claymore. That's funny, bro.
Whether you like it or not, there hasn't been an experience that reaches the level of this map, both in terms of its narrative and its gameplay. The Sureg, Lachu, the elemental staffs, everything it involves.
I think this is when zombies changed forever in a good way. And I think definitely Origins carried until BO3, which is insane. Because, like, bro, Reckoning couldn't carry, like, a couple months until BO7 Ashes of the Damned, right? So, it is very true. This is such a special, iconic map. It will forever remain the top 5 for sure. But personally, to me, it's not my number 1.
I must have completed this story live like 200 times, and I still get excited when that final cutscene of Samantha and Richtofen comes on.
Yeah, it was a masterpiece. The intro cutscene, bro, of this map where all of the characters for Primus are introduced is still the best cutscene in all of Call of Duty Zombies ever. Best trailer, best ever. They nailed that cutscene so hard, and honestly, in a lot of ways, I think that's why Origins is the most hyped map ever.
The fact that there were 3 huge
Because Shadows of Evil did not have as hype of an intro as Origins did.
giants walking across the map in the year it came out in 2013 seems so brutal to me. Like it was totally out of the technical capabilities of the time, and it obviously changed the zombie mode as we were used to.
No, it's insane that a map from 2013 in technicality rivals what we're getting with modern hardware in 2026. It's not even rivals, it surpasses it somehow.
Maybe what makes
Crazy.
Origins so epic is the year it came out.
Yeah.
Maybe nowadays we won't have footsteps or a map design that reaches this level. And mind you, Origins design
The level of creativity when it came to this map is unbelievable. I can't even begin to imagine the hours of planning and decision making and lore and story and everything that went into this map. It's truly a magnum opus.
isn't that great, right? Because in fact, it's a pretty gray map. It's just an excavation area in France. Nice, but for some reason they messed it up. The mud thing that can be a nuisance, it all goes hand in hand. I think the turntable thing, the portals to the crazy place, that mystical touch. Now, if you don't like the zombie story, you probably won't enjoy Samantha's dialogues. But there are some that aren't really that important, like when she tells Richtofen that he's trapped in a cycle. For the first time, we heard this from our characters. There are so many things that make Origins a masterpiece. A map that marked a before and after. Without Origins, there would be no Derissendrak. Without Origins, there would be no Ancient Evil because of the elemental weapons. Maybe
Well, and that is truly the thing. This map created the DNA of all the best maps coming after it. Even Spaceland, right? Even Garad Krovi in a lot of ways, right?
what it lacked were magistracies and a final battle, which I'll come back to. But anyway, at least we had to kill the 100 Templars there to complete the mission itself. What can I say? Well, it's a map that is my personal weakness and that when I started doing live streams I didn't like because I found it very difficult. But that's what I tell you. Most of the time, not always, you master the map and you'll start to love it. Although, well,
I agree with that sentiment though, because not a lot of people actually say that. Once you master the map, that is when you'll actually love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a big shout out here to L Gaming Channel because regardless of this man being a World War II zombies lover, this was still a phenomenal list. And let me know if you guys what you guys thought of this list, and let me know which one I check out next. And I'll see y'all in that next one, baby.